Washington Irving. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all doing well, staying safe, eating some good food. I have missed you guys. It has been a hot minute. Let me pull this up here, and we're good to go. All right, thank you guys so much for popping in today. Welcome to Therapy Thursday. Let me move this over. All right, so Lou's going to be a hot minute. That is okay. Let me put this on, and then we are good to go. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Therapy Thursday. I am your host, Dylan, Poor Legend, whatever you want to call me. Today we're interviewing the devilishly handsome Lucifer192, and I'm very excited for this one. It should be just a hot minute here. I'm just waiting for him to join on up. And how's our Thursdays going, guys? Welcome, welcome. I'm very excited to use this camera for the first time too, because it's been a hot minute since I've been able to use it. I'm also on the wrong playlist. I am. Sorry. Not bad. Yeah, we'll give him a hot minute here. Welcome in Mickey, Chloe, and Sally. What's up, Shoop? How we doing today, handsome? I'm excited. I got to do a lot of work. I got to do a lot of work today. It's on the list, Mickey. It actually is. I was playing around. With some of my what's the word? Oh, there he is. I was playing around with some overlay stuff too, so I'm very excited to like bring that into it as well. Oh. Bog! Hello.
Hey, handsome.
Handsome? Looking at you. What do you mean? I'm not the one that's handsome here. What are you talking about? Did you wear the onesie?
I've got it on.
Okay.
With the cape and everything, and I am so warm.
I know. I'm scared to put mine on too. Do you want me to put the penguin one on for you?
I'm not onesieing it up on my own.
Okay. I got it. Hold on. You got it. I've actually been remodeling most of my closet, so there's actually room to grab the onesies now.
Hey, let's go.
Great.
Morning, Sally. Jams. It's a Darth Vader onesie. Hold on.
My Dino one doesn't come in for a hot minute. Oh yeah. Show off the whole thing. Yeah.
Cape and everything.
I think the dinosaur one that I have actually comes with a cape too. I'm really excited.
That's dope, dude. That's dope.
All right. I am very excited for this one. I've got a couple of decent questions. One of them I was overthinking because I don't know if it's actually true or not, but we're gonna roll with it.
Okay.
Well, I was like,
Are you a Satanist?
No. That would have been fun too. I should have struck like religion in there. That would have been really. Well, maybe we'll talk about that. Who knows? I just want to open up the floor nice and easy. Like, tell me a bit about yourself. Give me some background. Who are you? I don't know who you are.
Okay, so I'm a strange man on the internet. You know what parents said? Stay away from strangers. No. Yeah, so I'm from the northwest of England, near Manchester. Everyone in the States knows Manchester. So, yeah, I'm about 50 miles away from Manchester on the coast. Near Blackpool, if anyone's heard of Blackpool, we have a fake Eiffel Tower, and it's tiny and shit.
But it's there. It does the job, and that's what matters.
Yes, exactly. And so I kind of grew up in not a working class family, let's say. Working class family. And I was always kind of one of the smartest people that I knew, which was always fun, like in the area that I lived in. So I did really well in primary school. So primary school is like up to the age of like 11.
Okay.
And then so our high school is like up to the age of 16. I did really well in primary school, really well in high school. Then when I went to college, I discovered working and money and decided that studying wasn't for me anymore. So my first bunch of exams, I started going from so we call it like A star if you get like 90+% on your exams. I started off my first semester kind of thing getting like A stars, and then by the end of the second year I was getting U's, so just failing.
So U's are your guys' equivalent for like an F, right? It's like a really bad grade. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I resat all those and got enough and like passed basically passed everything.
Mhm.
And then from there, so then I was like, I want to stick to working. So, like while I was in college, I did my driving license. I bought a motorbike. So we have this cool thing where in the UK you can ride small motorbikes, like 125 cc's, without a full license. So I did.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
There's like a day training. It's called a CBT, compulsory basic training, and you do that and it's like it takes all day. They give you a certificate, and then you can ride up to like 125 cc bikes. So I did that. I bought myself a bike so I could get around because cars were just way too expensive. It was like £3,000
Right.
a year insurance. It was crazy.
Oof.
So I got a bike. It was loads cheaper. I could buy a bike and insure it and fuel it and run it for a year for the same price of insuring a car.
Well, what's the gas price like? Is it like a fourth of what an automobile would be? Too? Is it like just much cheaper?
Yes, you get.
Okay.
So it was like £12.50 to fill up a tank, and the tank could get me like 200 miles.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I know motorcycles have always been very efficient because it's very lightweight and it's easy to go the distance. I was always more worried about like how many miles you guys have to go in between. Like, are highways safe on those kind of things? Are they legal?
They're legal, but not very safe.
Okay.
So technically not. So you're not allowed to ride on motorways with L plates, and you have to wear L plates until you have a full license.
Oh, okay.
So I did my full license while I owned that bike, so I then could ride it on the motorway. Unfortunately, that bike got stolen and set on fire whilst I was living in Manchester at uni. But
Holy shit.
yeah. But yeah, so anyway, I did all that, and then so I decided I didn't want to go to uni like everyone else. I was going to go to work basically.
Okay.
So I worked as a lifeguard for a year in a place called the Sandcastle in Blackpool. It's like a water park, but nothing like the stuff that you guys have.
Oh, yeah, we've got
it's
some
like
pretty
an
crazy
indoor
shit.
water park. It's like they at the time it was Europe's largest indoor water park or something. It was like so
back in my day, you know.
yeah. So we did. I worked there for a year. I moved on to another leisure center as a supervisor. So you basically did like half lifeguard and half managing, and then at that time I was really really bored of working, and I'd started talking to a girl who was in Manchester, who was like living there studying, and we started dating, and it was kind of like a good excuse for me to go to uni, because it was like uni was going to pay for me to go and live with her.
Oh, nice.
I'll go and do music.
Yeah.
So I'd been in a band. So I joined a band at 17. And I messed about with their mixing desk and stuff like that. I didn't really know anything. I was just a good guitarist.
Right.
So I started playing guitar when I was like 14. I just played at home every night.
Like scratching off questions now. You're going. I'm like, that one's gone, that one's gone, that one's gone. Shit. I just keep going. I mean, whatever. Like, well, what have you come up to now?
Well,
How'd you, shit.
Right. Yeah. Well, no. So you said tell us. Right. I'll stop. So that's when I went to uni. That I was 20 years old. I'm now 29.
Okay.
So.
Perfect. I've got a couple questions in that age range. Perfect. Okay. So I wanted to move into, I know that you're very big on music. What was the first instrument that you learned to play? Was it guitar?
It was actually piano.
Oh, okay.
But I was never very good at it. So basically when I was in primary school, so I was like 8 or 9 years old, I live in this really tiny village, right? And it had like one music shop, and it had this we were walking through there one time, and I got this book. It was like £2, and it was like how to play piano. And it started off like doing chopsticks on the black keys and the white keys. So I got that, and I got that book, and I did like maybe 1 or 2 like days at my school at the time where they were like, oh yeah, you can go ahead and have a go on the piano. And I was like, oh,
like a talent show,
whatever.
or just like a mess around kind of day?
No, it was just like a music lesson, I think.
Oh, okay.
So my school was like super small. There's like 30 people in each year group. And
Oh,
then
wow.
so there's one class for each year. Yeah, so you have like
Okay.
we have reception, which starts at 4. Then you go year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And that's like
And then-
that's like grade school, like when you're 5 to 11, right?
Yeah,
5 to
yeah,
10? Okay.
4, 5 to 11.
Okay.
And it was so, but there's only like you're with the same 30 people for 7 years.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just a class there. So it started. So I messed about on the piano, and then when I went to high school, I wasn't really into like music or anything. So high school's like 11 to 16, and then I think it must have been my 3rd year. Somehow, I really got into liking the music classes.
Oh, okay.
And my grandma had a classical guitar. So classical, if you're not familiar, is like nylon strings instead of metal.
Yep.
And it's the kind of like really soft sounding thing. So I kind of robbed that from her, and I used to like just play along with songs, just like almost playing the bass to it because I didn't know how to play the guitar. And then someone at school taught me how to read guitar tabs.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you know what tabs are. It's basically
So I know that it's basically like reading sheet music for piano, right? Tabs are like it's the chord, because tabs are easier, right? It's where you put your fingers.
yes, it's where you put your fingers.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I actually did a paper on this at uni, but that's that's a whole other thing. Yeah, so someone taught me how to read tabs, and I started learning guitar at home, and then I was like, I really, really want an electric guitar. And then for my 14th birthday, I got one, and then that's kind of
Ooh.
where I started playing guitar from.
So has electric guitar been your favorite since then? Have you wanted to try a different instrument before?
Drums. Always drums.
Drums are
But-
as a drummer myself, I absolutely love it. It's so much fun. Although one downside for prefacing, if you get into drumming, one of your calves will literally get bigger than the other one because of the base of the drum pedal. So my right calf to this day is still about a 1/4 inch bigger than my left calf, and it's the weirdest thing ever. When I was running in high school, we did like, I don't know why somebody was taking pictures, but we were doing calf races, and you can clearly see like my calf here and then like my calf here. It's just like, this one's definitely bigger, and it makes no sense because when you kick, it's just your toes. Like you push your toes down, and it's basically just
Yes.
doing calf races the whole time, which is just it was just really weird. So is that how you got into like heavier music too? You switched to electric guitar, or were you listening to that before getting into it?
So my mom and dad have always been into like rock music. So my mom's got like this framed Bon Jovi album.
Mhm.
It's like signed and everything that she got. So they used to go to see Bon Jovi, Def Leppard. My dad was into Madness a little bit. So I always kind of grew up in a house where we listened to like guitar rock.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That instantly puts you like at odds with everyone you go to school with, because
Yeah.
they're listening to like chart music, or when you're like 12, everyone's listening to like gangster rap, all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, oh, Slipknot, hey.
So what's so interesting about that is, at least for my generation, we grew up on Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and we all knew it around here, like those songs, relative to being a very poor area. But like if you played a little bit of Queen, if you played a little bit of Bon Jovi, Green Day, everyone knew Boulevard of Broken Dreams and Holiday, you know?
Yeah.
Like everyone
Yeah.
knew those songs, but then you would like throw in a little bit of Fall Out Boy and Blink-182. They're like, what the hell's that, dude? I never heard of that before. So it just kind of depends on the area, I guess, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. Did you miss
totally.
out on the whole Rock Band and Guitar Hero childhood, or was that like a little bit too?
So
little too
they
old?
didn't even come out until
Yeah, it
I
was early
like 14
2000s,
or-
I think. Right?
Yeah,
2005 or so.
I started high school in 2004.
Okay.
And because it came from like obviously not like a rich family, we didn't always have the most up-to-date consoles, most up-to-date games, and with Guitar Hero you have to buy the guitars and drum kits and all that kind of stuff. So I actually played a ton of Guitar Hero at my friend's house on his Wii.
I think Guitar Hero will always be the one game I can kick ass on, even if I haven't picked it up in a while. But I'm terrible at guitar, which is, I thought there'd be a little bit of a correlation, you know? But I'm also
Yeah.
really bad at drums on Rock Band, but I'm really good at drums IRL. It's just, I don't know, it's weird.
There's a really big difference, honestly, in between like actual drumming and then rock band drumming.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing.
Because a lot of
So-
them, it's to the tune or to the speed, but like you don't have as many toms to hit. So typically you're hitting the same tom over and over, and it throws off your like where you should actually be hitting it, you know?
And you only have 2 cymbals. And
some do. Are you talking about like the recent one? Like the ones that actually have the 2 cymbals?
Yeah, so I have the Guitar Hero drum set, which is 4 pads?
I think it's 4 toms and 2 cymbals, yeah.
Yes, and then a kick drum, kick pedal. Yeah, so like, but I've played proper drum kits from time to time. So like when I was at uni, whenever I used to book out studio time, I'd always spend like 30 minutes. I'd be like, yo, can I borrow some cymbals and some drumstick? Go and jam out on the kit before I started actually recording anything.
Right.
Just for fun.
Just have a good time with it, yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of like, so like high school, because like even my high school wasn't that big. There was like 150 people in the whole year group, and there's 5-year groups, and you had like 3 people who liked rock music. Mm-hmm. So obviously everyone who likes the rock music like gangs up together and talks about stuff like that. So
and we want to make a band, you know?
Yeah,
everyone talks about it.
Exactly. So from my 3rd year of high school, I was in like any band that I could be in throughout school. But yeah, everyone else was listening to the chart music, or like it was at the time where 50 Cent's album Get Rich or Die Trying was like popular.
Yep.
And the earlier Eminem albums, so everyone was like on those bandwagons, and like Joe Budden and D12. It was like this resurgence of like old rap almost.
One of the craziest things about Eminem is nobody knows even who Slim Shady was in my generation. They didn't know what D12 was before Eminem.
Really?
Yeah. So when I explained like I threw on something, it's not Under the Influence. What is it? My Band by D12. And they're like, is that Eminem? It's like, actually that's Slim Shady and B Rabbit before he was actually Eminem. That's actually probably Marshall Mathers, if anything, in that band. And everyone's just like, why does it sound like him too? I was like, do you have to start somewhere? You don't just get a record label off like that. Like look at Ice Cube, and look at what's his name? Look at Dr. Dre. Look at Snoop Dogg. They all had a band and a label together, and then they made their own thing. You know, like it doesn't just don't just get a label. Which is weird about nowadays. Like you usually get a label. Like Billie Eilish didn't have a band or an artist to follow back on. She did her own thing for a while. I think she's always done her own thing, from what I understand. But I guess it's a different culture, different environment, you know. Yeah,
so it's the same with photography, right? You've got a professional camera that you're using as a webcam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same with music. Like as the technology is like advanced so far, when technology advances, it gets cheaper. So now people can very easily, for like, if you buy a MacBook, a good microphone and a good interface for like $3,000, you can basically produce your own like rap album from home.
Right.
Whereas back in the noughties and before then, it was you had to go to a studio, you had to go and get a producer and get someone professional to mix it. Like,
I mean, even nowadays, you can get a wireless microphone with a brand new 2022 camera phone for $1,000 and record your own stuff in a closet. Like, because it's dampened enough with the audio, it sounds good.
Yes, it's crazy. Like, so it's the same with cameras though, right? Like you can get a really good DSLR now for like $500 and go and take these professional quality pictures, even though you have no experience.
Right.
So they call them bedroom producers, and they're a really big problem because all the people who actually own studios with like really good gear and all the skill sets are being outpriced by people who are bedroom producers, because they're like, oh yeah, come around to my house, I'll be like 50 quid, we'll make a song.
Yeah, and because they charge so much cheaper because they don't know what it's actually worth, or it's becoming less worth because it's so what's the word? What? Oh God, when there's so much of it.
Prolific.
Is it prolific? But it's also like congested. It's like why streaming's hard on Warzone. There's too many of them. I don't know what it's. There's a word there. I can't think of the word.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Chat, what is it? It's like congested. It's like oversaturated. That's the word. It's an oversaturated market. And because everyone has these high quality cameras basically on their phones now, everyone can do it, and the price just gets lower and lower and lower.
Exactly.
It's scary to think about though.
So the studios that I've worked in, so when I record drums, I use the uni studios for like the music that I've worked on, mostly. And then when I didn't have access to the uni studios anymore, I started like we started renting out like actual good studios. So, you've heard of Elbow,
Yeah.
the band? So I've recorded drums in the studio where they work. And you know, you're talking like £300 a day to rent out those studios just to record drums.
Poof.
Yeah, so you can easily see, like, if you want to probably do, if you're doing an album, you want a week in the studio for drums, it's going to cost you like 2 grand. Whereas these people, like, you can now buy these amazing sounding drum kits for like $50 and program it yourself at home.
Right.
So that's how people are getting around it. But there's definitely part of the art is being lost, if that makes sense, because
So no,
software
keep
does
going.
it for you.
Yeah. So that's where I'm kind of, I didn't add this question, but now I'm really curious about it. Why do you think the basic pop and rap and rock and, or not even rock and roll anymore, why like the pop and rap is so popular? Because it's very simple, right? A lot of the lyrics don't even have to have super good meaning anymore. It's just, it sounds good to your brain and people like it. You know what I mean? Why do you think that's such a dominant thing right now? I guess it always has been, right? It's always been a very, the past couple years, I'd say like 50 years. No, less than that. 1970s and 80s is when rap emerged, right? Like early.
You can't count early rap in the same genre, in my opinion. So because back in the 80s, like rock music was huge.
Right.
Rock music was like the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's where you got all these world star bands. It's like I want to say that the Foo Fighters are probably the last international rock band that will ever exist.
Wow, really? Just because it's not like a thing to be international? Well, because it's not a rock band anymore. I don't think rock band's gonna make a climb anymore.
No, like if you could write, you and me and 3 other people make a 5-piece rock band. We could write the best music in the world. We could have the best agents in the world and the best quality, but we're not going to sell out stadiums because that's not what people like anymore.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
So like Foo Fighters still sell out stadium tours, and for, like off the top of my head, they're like the newest starting, but they even started in the 90s.
I mean, they're getting pretty old from what I understand, right? They're like
they are
early 50s, late 50s, I think. They're getting there.
That sounds about right. But like, yeah, Metallica, they're all gray, you know? But to go back to what you were saying about why people like the rap and so it's like easy listening music because almost. So if there's people who are into music and there are people who exist without music being a big part of their lives. And I think that's the kind of key point, right? If you can influence all the people who don't really care about music, they just like having it on, like
right, it's background noise or something. Yeah,
you can just, if you just feed them whatever the labels want them to hear, that's gonna influence music taste,
right?
But when you brought up older rap, like that was groundbreaking stuff. That was like a new style of music coming from like R&B, and it was very like political, and it was very like, it was rebellious in the same way that punk. Yeah, so in the same way that punk kind of spawned from like a rebellious kind of standpoint, but now it's just kind of like, so the rap and the dance music and stuff, it's pretty easy to produce if you have a good ear of like what, you know, like what's an interesting hook. So a hook is like what you would call like either like a synth riff or like a vocal melody that pulls you into a song.
Yeah.
If you know how to write those, like David Guetta, for example, then you can go away and make a song at home in a day or two. You don't need a studio. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't even need people who can sing anymore because the computer can put them in tune.
Yeah, completely auto-tune them. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like when I look at Drake, when I look at I can't even think of a high quality rapper, not even high quality, just a top chart rapper Drake is the first one that comes to my mind. But even like DJ Khaled, I'm pretty sure like Pop Smoke's probably up there. Billie Eilish is up there. Not a rapper, but I'm just thinking like top charts. It's not music that I like. I don't know. I don't want to call people stupid for listening to it, but there's just not a lot of depth to it. You know what I mean? Like it's like, for me, it's a background song. It's if I'm in a car with people I don't know, I'm gonna put songs like that on, or maybe some like early 2000s song that everyone knows, right? But it's not like I don't want to like learn about this song. If I want to listen to rap that gets my brain going, I'll listen to NF, where it's focused around mental health, and like I guess he's considered a Christian, but I've never heard that type of like, oh, come join my cult. You know what I mean? Like I've never heard that in his song. But like he very much speaks upon mental health, and that's something that you don't hear a lot of rappers talk about, at least not in today's generation. It's still about monies and bitches, and you know what I mean? Like it's just not, I don't know, there's not a lot of depth to it anymore.
So you without trying to like, you know, like there's great rap music. There's great music in every genre, right? But the kind of the stuff that gets popular into the chart music is stuff that you don't have to think about too hard for it to be meaningful. I feel like, so like you say, like the rap songs that are cool just because they talk about bitches and hoes and money and gangs and stuff, like I have no interest in that. If someone presents me with like rap music that's actually thoughtful and stuff, like it's not stuff that I'd choose to listen to, but I listen to it critically.
The three that I would recommend in that critical thinking, political propaganda, you know, mental health is NF, Dax, DAX, and Tom McDonald. Those are the three that I'm like, this is like stuff that gets me thinking. Tom McDonald focuses a lot on religion, sexism, racism, and those kind of things. Dax focuses on like he's an African American rapper, right? And like when he came out as like, this is what I want to do when it comes to like attacking the norms, everyone was like, it's supposed to be about bitches and money and drugs. It's like, no, I don't want to talk about that shit. Like that's not who I am. You know, I want to talk about myself. I want to talk about the struggles I've had. And it was different for an African American man to do that in rap, right? And then NF's the same way. Like he had a lot of mental health issues, and he talks about them. And he has a song called "Therapy Session" because it is a therapy session for him. Like when he's rapping, this is what he does to get it out. So those are my three favorite things. When it comes to like, I want to think critically, I want to understand more, because I mean, the today's music is just you throw it on in the background. It's background music. It's not something you want to like thought provoking and get into. You know?
Yeah.
So for me, I like something more to it.
Yeah, I've worked on a bunch of live shows with like amateur rappers, and none of them have that kind of lyrical content, and I just got bored.
Right.
And I would just literally turn down those gigs. So I was like, I don't want to go and have my ears blasted, and these guys have an attitude, and they're not easy to work with. I don't like the music. I don't.
They want it their way.
So
they were
That's like, no, someone else can do that.
I mean, that might even be like their way to get into the music. You know what I mean? Like to get in that headspace of, this is the stuff that I'm rapping about. Maybe I have to be a douchebag to rap it. You know, like some people are like that. They're like, if you look at the doc, he has to, or like for Dr. Disrespect, he has to get into a personality and a persona to stream. And then like after the stream, he's probably a great guy. You know, he's probably an awesome human being. But I think some people like Tyler One's probably not that aggressive all the time. You know, just XQC might be putting on a show sometimes for streams. I think everyone's got that little thing that they have to do to get into their element, you know? And
I think all streamers are themselves, but extra.
Oh, absolutely. To an
extent. Apart from Doc, because he is a character. But like from my experience of like speaking, so after recent events, like there is like I've been able to speak to some bigger streamers like outside of the stream. And most of them are themselves, but like high. Almost.
Right.
And, you know, they're just
more energetic, more things to them. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you know, they're more chilled out, and you know, they're not trying to entertain, and it's even Jesse's that way. So like, obviously, like I met up with him in November when I was in San Diego, and Jesse is just himself, but maybe like at 75-80%
less.
And I love that about people.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's definitely that. I just never liked how these like amateur people were like presenting themselves to me both while they were on stage and off stage. Like I had like a group of people who I there was the show cut off time. It's like a legal thing. You're not allowed live music past a certain time in venues because of licensing. So I'd be like, right, guys, this is your last song. And they're like, no, we're doing one more. So after that one song, they're like, oh, we're gonna do another one, yeah. So I just turned the PA off. So they threw the mics.
Oh wow.
They like, and I was like, it's not my gear,
Mhm.
but I'm still not happy about that at all. And I'm pretty sure they got barred from playing in that venue again.
Oh, they absolutely fucking did. They probably didn't have the money to pay it off. You know what I mean? Like that's, I don't know.
Yeah. But
So Mickey brought up a good point to
ahead.
counter the rap thing. She said that Lil Nas X had the song about Old Country Road was about adultery, and that his latest album was about being black and gay. Everyone needs to listen to it. It's very powerful. I didn't know that personally. I don't listen to that guy, but that's very different than what the norm is within rap. You know what I mean? Like, but that's good. It's good that it's outside the norm. It should be the norm. To be, you know.
I'm not saying by any stretch that all rap is bad. I'm saying that the rap that is presented to me in chart music is bad.
Right.
Just like Ed Sheeran, right? He's a great songwriter. I heard his stuff before he was famous because someone I went to uni with, Ed Sheeran was playing a gig in his hometown and had nowhere to stay. And was literally putting out on Facebook, I can't afford a hotel because someone put me up for the night. So he nearly had him stay at his house before Ed Sheeran blew off. But he was a simple acoustic songwriter. Now, what's the song? Right, I'm gonna have to find this song because it's on a recent album, and it's like actual good Ed Sheeran instead of what Ed Sheeran label wants to put out.
In his newest album?
No, I think it might have been on Divide.
I was gonna say, for me in Divide, I love Galway Girl. That's like, for me, that's a really interesting song.
Okay, right. This is called What Do I Know? I'm gonna DM you the song link.
I got it. I'll play it for stream.
This song
this one, yeah.
is actually what an acoustic singer-songwriter sounds like. It's not overproduced pop stuff that's supposed to be designed to go and binge drink to on the weekend.
Right.
Or
this almost sounds like a song that you blast in the car ride, you know, like to have a good time and like understand the lyrics while you're driving.
Yeah, exactly. You want to listen to the lyrics on this song. It's like, it's not complicated, but it's like poignant almost.
Yeah. Hi, Brian. Thank you so much.
Well, so I know I've watched a couple of interviews with him, and he's like, yeah, so I'll do 30 songs for an album, and the label will choose what songs get put on the album.
Yeah.
Because the label wants to maximize their margins.
Well, of course. Make the most money possible. It's how it is for everything.
Yeah, it's definitely filtered the music that we get in the charts. So finding the good music in any genre can get really difficult, especially because everyone is releasing it sort of by themselves, like DIY. I don't
know why that played twice, sorry guys.
And that means that it's not going to get pushed out by labels. It's the current music industry is really complicated.
Oh, absolutely. So okay, I know we touched upon like today's rap and stuff, but what is your favorite artist and music genre?
So I'm really into prog music. Like, it does not matter if it's like instrumental or if it's got lyrics, but the thought, if someone's going to take the time to like write a whole song that constantly changes time signatures and changes keys and instead of just having a steady like beat in the background that you follow mindlessly, it makes you think about the music and it makes you think about the lyrics. Like, that is just like really stimulating for me. And there's like a bunch of artists that kind of fall into that genre, both from like the more heavy metal side and also like Polyphia, which is not really, it's barely rock music. Like they don't
Right.
use much distortion. It's not heavy drums, but it's thought provoking, just to listen to.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, that's what I really admired about rock and roll in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Like when it became such an interesting thing, like that's why. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of marijuana up in there too, but I think it was very thought provoking during the marijuana times. You know what I mean? That's why, like, I wish marijuana was more common now. Because, like, instead of getting drunk and texting your ex, you can be getting high and talking about life. Are aliens real? Why do we pay taxes? If the government knows how much money I owe, why do I have to know how much money? You know, like it just starts, thought-provoking things that I think everyone should be having. And I have a theory that the reason why it's not worldwide and allowed across the states is because the government doesn't want us to think. They want us to be dumb from alcohol and not thought-provoking. So, because you just get to control your little pawns and it's fine, But I think that's how it always has been. Like Mickey's talking about how she believes there's a shadowy group of people controlling what is popular and who gets awards at award shows. And it absolutely is. There's everything that you do, everything has somebody above them with shareholders that controls the monopoly. That's how it works. If you look at systems theory, this is a little bit of my degree. There are 4 parts to systems theory. There are the employers, there are the shareholders, there's the community, and then there's the people who are buying the product or using the product. And you have to appeal to all 4 or something fails. And when it comes to shareholders, today's is harder to, you have to appeal to your shareholders or you don't have a company or an organization or a business. Like they rip it away. All the money's gone. So you usually have to appeal to them first because they're also paying you less than what your consumers pay you. So it's really, really fucked up in a way, but that's just how it works. So
yeah,
it's one of the worst things I learned about communication and business and like how it interlocks together, and it was just really unfortunate. But
have you ever heard about the 6 family theory?
No.
It's like a conspiracy theory. So
like 6 families control the world?
Yes, literally 6 families, and one of them
is Disney.
They have. I don't actually think it is Disney. But it's
no
close.
Way, dude! Disney owns everything.
Yeah, but who owns Disney?
I don't know.
So what I can't remember what.
I'll put on my list, Mickey.
There's a really popular name. It's like a Jewish sounding name.
What'd you say it was called? The 6 what?
It's like the 6 family theory. I don't know if that's the official name of it. 6 families control the world. 6.
Yeah, the 6 families that control the world. Okay, so there's a Gandhi family, the Kim family in North Korea. I think it's gonna open.
Yeah, so there's essentially well, so there's like this theory that these guys own
is it this? These families secretly rule the world? A YouTube video? The richest?
Probably, yeah. Rothschilds. Chris has got one, yeah. That's like one of the big names. I don't know the other 5, but that is the one that always springs to mind. It's like, so there's this theory that these guys own so much of everything in the world that the companies are only allowed to make decisions if it's get cleared through these families. So they basically filter the whole society, like everything everywhere. It's a crazy conspiracy, but it's like even it makes sense. Right?
Oh, I know it absolutely does. Well, that's the thing is everything has to have somebody who owns it. Even if you think Disney's the most powerful thing, somebody is controlling what they produce. It's not always just one person. Typically, it's a couple people that own billions upon trillions of dollars, and they all control it. But something has to control it. Something has to have the agenda. It's not just Disney that has the agenda. You know what I mean? There's always a bigger agenda at play. Always.
Yeah, like Walt Disney was an asshole, like by all accounts.
I think a lot of people in that generation were pretty fucked in the head, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Aren't we lucky that he froze himself so we can bring him back to life in the future?
Like the Futurama episode where they bring the head out? Oh, God.
Yes. I think he was the first person to be, like, actually cryogenically frozen for longevity.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I come back and rule the world, Wait, Disney was anti-Semitic? I'm not surprised they are, or were.
And racist.
Yeah, well, I think Disney's been around for so many years that at some point they were probably fucked, For me, the craziest thing is hearing about stories about people who work there, and like if they messed up once, they were gone because so many people want that job. It's like, if you fuck up, we'll grab somebody else, and they'll be just as good as you. It's just like, I wouldn't want a job like that before, because everyone's
like the Twitch partner program.
Well, so. Oh yeah, exactly. It's like the Twitch. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's watched The Boys in chat. I'm on the 3rd or 4th episode now. And it tells the story about a superhero that gets into the superhero thing. And it's all controlled by money. And it's not about saving people anymore. And the people that want to go into this field to save people are not actually saving people anymore. So it's like fucking with my head. Like, that's just real life now, dude. It's like, even if you want to go into like, for me, the one thing that fucks up my head is the do not resuscitate thing. If you're a paramedic or you're EMTs or something, like you come into a house, and unless you find the thing that says do not resuscitate, you have to. But like your first instinct as a human is to save the other human no matter what. And like the do not resuscitate thing always throws off my head because it's like, why would you not want to come back? Like I don't get it. And maybe they're too old, or maybe they have a cancer, or maybe, a lot of things go on that they wouldn't want to come back. But it's just like, it hurts knowing that I could do something, but I am not legally allowed to, or I'll be fined or thrown in jail or fired. It's just, that fucks with my head.
I think the idea is that like people make these, like if they've got a terminal illness or whatever, is normally when you get DNRs.
Yeah.
And they could spend the time and the money,
season 1,
the resources to keep you alive when that could be better used for someone else.
Right.
So, like in palliative care, I'm pretty sure most people in palliative care have a DNR.
Yes, yeah.
And because palliative care is so expensive, so even in the UK, right? So it's like £1,000 a week to have someone in palliative care in like a private home or something. Like where they get cared for, where they can be comfortable. But my ex's like grandma got terminal cancer that spread really quickly, and she got given like 3 or 4 months to live and lasted for 2 years.
Wow.
And she had tons of savings. And the way that it works here is that they will pay for your care out of your savings until you pass away.
Right.
So it massively depleted the inheritance that her children were going to get.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I mean,
and if she'd have had like some sort of like cardiac arrest, I think she had a DNR. So that that bed in that home could have gone to someone else.
Yeah.
Who, I understand it's really difficult to think about. I agree, but I think that's normally the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like being a cop. Like I wouldn't want to do it just because of the safety and the mental toll you have, but somebody has to do it. And that's why I don't get angry when I get pulled over, or like I don't get freaked out when accidents happen on a highway. It's like, you've got so much stress on your plate. Like, here's my ID, my hands are on the wheel, I have no firearms in my car. Like, just do whatever you gotta do. Like, I'm trying to make it as stress-free for you, because like some people start like angering a cop. It's like, dude, just you'll be done in 5 minutes. Like, just grab all your shit and just hold your hands out. You're fine. Like, just I will never understand. It's like, it's for likes. It's for proving a point. It's like, I just don't get it. And don't get me wrong, there's some pretty bad cops, but I think like for me, the highest chance of getting out of this quickly is to just comply and move on.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's like that with everything. With EMTs, like I get worried. The only time I've had to call 911 was for a drunk driver on the road, and I had to give all the details, and then I'd never heard back. It's like, I don't know if this person was actually fined for drunk driving, but I mean, like, you could tell, like, it's, he's definitely swerving. So like I gave him the license plate, what road I'm on, how fast we're going, what the road is. I followed him the whole way, and then when the cop came behind me, I drove off and it was fine. But like, I'm hoping that person's either like fine now or fined or in jail, or like that's so many safety things that happen. Don't drink and drive, you fucking idiots. Like, just don't do it. Don't do it.
I know we have a very different view on police in the UK. The only people who actually hate the police over here are criminals.
Oh, well, that's a good thing.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
like, but I know in the States that there have been a lot of terrible things that have happened.
It's
and
more like the underlying foundation. Like we learned about in one of my PR classes, one of my professor was running against somebody who was like, it was a Democrat and a Republican. That was what their party was for the mayor or whatever. And the Republican was there for a long time. I'm not saying I'm either side, but just he has the most money, he has the most power at the time. And it's hard to put a Democrat into that because they have so many underlying foundations and morals and things that they don't want to have that do. You know, it's like a red versus blue thing. But the reason he won is because he started challenging the minds of the fellow police force and the people that live within that area. So he was like, hey, your police chief or whatever he was considered spent $20 million on a jail. And they're like, why would we spend $20 million on a jail? I was like, oh, they got basketball courts in there. They get like 3-star, 4-star hotel meals. They've got a bar and grill. And he's like, what the fuck? We're giving that to criminals? And he's like, well, why would we do that? Like, they get to have this great lavish life. It's like, I'm living poor, dude. Like, I want the new guy. Fix this shit, you know? So like, that was their biggest thing against them, is like, he was just throwing money. And whether that 20 million was actually spent on the jail or it was like half and then he got to pocket the rest, we don't know, right? And then that's the scary thing about it, is we don't know. I don't know. So like, he got them to, he won because he challenged the average Joe and what they think, right? But not everyone does that. And then, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. But no, it was like corruption. They were getting paid. They were loitering, lobbying, the whole shebang. They were getting paid. One of the biggest things is if you tipped the guy enough, you would get a job there. So it was like, oh, and you're not going to get fired now because you already paid the guy. Like, you're fine, you know? So like, that shit blows my head. Because they weren't trained. They weren't certified. They were just paid to get in.
I've heard some really bad anecdotes about the policing situation in America, and obviously for every good cop there's probably every bad cop there's probably 5 good ones. But typically, from what I've heard, it's kind of like ex-military, kind of like
Jesus, Mickey.
People who go into policing. So, and that attracts more people who are like-minded that way. Everyone, they seem to be like want to go on a power trip instead of actually doing the job.
Right.
If that makes sense. They're getting it for additional power. Like, they can legally do more stuff.
Yes. Well, legally to an extent, and then they illegally do more and more and more. Yeah, it's like drugs.
Yeah.
It's a power trip. It's absolutely a power trip. And I think that it also has a lot to do with just our foundation of society within like the racist America, with the sexist America. Like, so many things are just swept under the rug because it costs money. It disturbs people. It scares people. It worries them. And like, so many things happen because of that. But it's also like, it needs to be fucking said. You know what I mean? Like, and they need to be swept out from under the rug and shown where issues happen. Take charge and apologize for things that happened in the past. It didn't have to be you. Maybe it was generational. Maybe it was your ex-coworker that got fired because of assault or something. But like, it needs to be said and brought to the media. But I'm sure there's somebody up here who makes more money that controls it, that doesn't let it out. And that's just how it's always going to be. And it sucks. But I think that like our generation, I think you're a millennial though, I think, right? I'm Gen Z, unfortunately.
I think I'm the very end of millennials, maybe.
Okay.
Or the very start. I don't remember. I'm a 92 baby.
I'm a 99 baby, so I'm a little younger. But I think my generation's doing very good things with the pronouns, with becoming who you are and identifying that way, with racism, with sexism and equity. Like, all of these things are being brought out, and it's starting a lot of fights because it's all happening very quickly, but it should have happened years ago. You know what I mean? Like, we're finally bringing it to the surface, and we're not backing off. We are very headstrong, head-fucked individuals. So it's good to see. I'm very glad. But I think there's a lot more violence under it, that we're not taking those precautionary steps first to, you know.
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be another 50 years before.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Societal, deep-rooted change happens, because now, I mean, it's the same over here, but it's like our like governments are basically geriatrics.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I saw something the other day where there was saying there's something like 25% of the government representatives in the US are like over 60 or 70 years old. And it's like,
Yeah.
in the UK, you retire at 65.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get to make decisions for your 10, 20 years left on this planet that are going to affect people who still have
Next
80 years
100.
left.
Exactly.
And you know, they're all like rich white people.
Yep.
Who from you know, the 50s and the 60s who grew up with one way of thinking and they've never changed. So
Exactly.
those people need to be, they will fade out of positions of power over time, but it's just unfortunate that it's not something that we can do because in British politics we have members of parliament, which like your local MPs basically.
Mhm.
And then above that you then have the House of Commons, which are a bunch of people who I think are elected to be in those positions. And above that there's the House of Lords, where people are literally born into these seats. It's the only way to get in. And
It's like the Queen and all of that, right?
Below the Queen.
Oh, okay.
So you got like your normal MPs, your government representatives, then you've got the House of Commons, then you have the House of Lords, and then it has to go through all of those to get to the Prime Minister, to get to the Queen, to get a bill signed off.
So I would say that your House of Representatives is very similar to ours. You said House of what? House of
Commons.
So that's like our House of Representatives. What was the one above it?
House of Lords.
That would be considered our Supreme Court, I think. Chat can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know enough about politics to vouch on this, but I'm pretty sure that's considered our Supreme Court, which I think we have. I thought it was 13, but it might be 26 people. I don't know off the top of my head. I was terrible at politics and government and geography, so that's where I will apologize in advance. But yeah, you have to go through each step, and then it has to go to. We don't have it. I guess it's vice president and president. I think those are the two.
Your Supreme Court's still voted on, though, isn't it?
What do you mean voted on? Like elected? Yes.
Yeah, our House of Lords isn't. There are people who are born into the families that take those seats.
Not appropriate comparison to Supreme Court. Okay. Bad comms.
Yeah. So, no. So you're. I think what you're mixing up is you have like local courts, and then you'll have like the Supreme Court who make like federal decisions.
Yes.
Yeah. So ours, it's not even like it's not like that. We've just got this barrier of people who are just like rich people, who are
okay, Jim.
They just get put in those seats.
That's what it is. Okay.
And I don't. This is like from my limited knowledge, obviously, but they are literally a barrier of getting some bills passed, and that's a problem. Those people need to die.
Yeah.
Not in like an offensive way, but just in a way that like they will pass on, and the thinking of people who replace them in those seats will change and allow for bigger reform.
It just sucks that it happens so slow. Like all these 67-year-old people in our Supreme Courts and high up in our judicial system are so old and white that they just kind of need to like, come on now, it's your time to go, Grandpa. You know, like just get away.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris,
that was the music question.
Yeah, that was all the questions. To back it away from politics before YouTube shuts this whole interview down when I post it. How did you stumble upon Twitch? What was your first gateway into it?
Oh, good question. I love this story. So I went through. So the ex I talked about earlier, I had a really bad breakup, and I went to try and go dating around. I did the dating apps, all that kind of stuff. Had a terrible time of it. As
most people
never went on a single date. Yeah.
Oh.
But I never went on a date or anything. So I was just working. Was
that guitar selfie your profile picture? I would have swiped right. Just saying. That should have been your profile picture.
I had some good pictures, honestly. I tried a bunch. I tried every profile. I tried a funny profile, like bio. I tried a serious bio. I tried a really fleshed out bio, a simple bio. Just nothing worked. It's just like I'm very aware of where I fall in terms of like the physical attractiveness, and those apps are entirely based on physical attractiveness.
Oh, it's
If people
six
don't
pack,
like the picture, then don't even
jawline.
read it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just,
Exactly.
do you look fuckable? You look fuckable. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I'm a pale, long-haired dude. You know, I don't have much going for me.
Like a little demonic vampire, you know? There's a niche for that. There's a couple girls looking for that. You're tall too. I mean, like that's you're 6'2". You know, people. That's how it is in American culture.
5'10".
Oh shit! I thought you were like 6'2".
Oh.
Hey, well they don't swipe on us. Yeah, if you're not 6 foot, you're just not real. Like you're a little dwarf.
Yeah.
Even though they're like 5'4", 5'5". But whatever. I'm the short one. Okay, dude.
So I went through all of that and I was like, you know what? This is painful. I'm just gonna like close myself off emotionally. I'm gonna focus on work. I'm gonna focus on trying to further my career at the time. So I broke up with my ex the last year of my undergraduate degree, and then I did my master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived in Manchester for that year. I lived in Manchester for the year after as well. And the whole time I was working on getting myself known, getting on better gigs, getting better paid work. And then there was a housing situation where I didn't want to continue living with the guy I was with. And I didn't want to go and live in a random house again. Because I'd lived in this house for a year, which was like 7 bedrooms. I was one of the only people that spoke English.
Oh.
I got told when I moved in that it was a bunch of students. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, we can hang out and stuff. But I was totally lied to. There was no students living there. One of them was like a 65-year-old man. Everyone was really antisocial and stuff. I was like, I'm not putting myself through that again. So I moved back in with my parents for a short time. This was the end of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I'll find someone to live with or I'll find my own place cheaper, right? Then COVID happened.
And fucked everything up.
Yeah, so literally that December, I just built my gaming PC, and I was like, Death Stranding looks really good. I've heard about it for a long time. So I went on Twitch to find someone who was playing it, see if it was worth buying a PlayStation to play it. So it's still a PlayStation exclusive. And I found Boo Does Games. I found King Renzer. I found a couple of other people who I don't watch anymore. And I realized, so after watching them for a couple of days, I started talking. So I was lurking at first. Now I was like, hold on a minute. Twitch is more than just watching games. This is a community.
Right.
And the first stream of Booze that I watched, she has like quite an emotional attachment to Death Stranding for like personal reasons. And she was like opening up and like being emotional and like crying on stream. And I was like, holy shit. And then it kind of just like made me want to like unblock myself off to these emotions. So I started contribute into the chats more, found some people through the people that they raided, and then that was the New Year's Eve of 2019, I believe, or like slightly before that. I never ended up buying a PlayStation or playing Death Stranding.
But you found a wonderful community, and that's what matters.
I did, and it was eventually, after a few months, it was those guys who like got me to start streaming.
Mm-hmm. Like, well, that was my favorite thing is I've watched Twitch for God knows how many years now, but I've never streamed until Coda was like, why not, dude? We're stuck inside. We're already playing games, you know, just fuck it, do it. And then I met Minnesota. Minnesota was one of the biggest gifters for Coda's and I stream for the longest time. And then that led to her talking to Huskers, and then that led to the Husker raid, and it just kept going. And it was really crazy how, like, I think about, like, what if I didn't stream? Would she have stumbled? It was her first day on Twitch. I was the first person she found, and then she found Coda's beautiful face. And it was just like, bam, just like, then just things just started going. It was like, what if I didn't stream that day? Like, where would both of us be nowadays? And it's just really scary to think about, because I don't want to think about that, because I like the butterfly effect concept. I like that. Well, because of me just streaming for one day, it kept going and spiraling. I found a passion. I found a home. I found a loving, like, community and family. And like, it's amazing to think about. I wouldn't have done it any other way. You know, like, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. And I'm thankful that I did, you know, but it's just like, damn,
yeah,
kind of hurts my brain to think about sometimes.
Yeah. So I ended up, I think we messaged about this, like a couple of weeks ago, but like, so my past relationship while I was at uni was not good for my social situation, let's say. So I came out of uni with like barely any friends. I didn't have anyone to go out, hang out with. Everyone I
Same.
spoke to was through work. And when I came to Twitch, I felt like I had friends again. It was weird. So every night I'd like whatever I was doing in the day, which was mostly nothing because my industry was quiet in the day, in the like the January, February time, because everyone's done all their Christmas parties and New Year's and everyone's chilling out. So there's
Until
no
like
events
Easter
going on.
comes and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, so like March, April time. And uh yeah, so I was in streams every night and being like, I feel like I can actually like talk to people in a friend way, and it's not work related, and it's not people
Yeah.
just talking to me because I'm working with them. And it was like, it was totally crazy for me. Like, because back in like high school, when I was like 15, 16, I used to talk to everyone. Like, didn't matter who, I was good friends with everyone. And then,
Well, it's because you knew them for all those years, right? There was like an understanding and you grew up with them kind of thing, right?
yeah. And then teenagers are teenagers, and
Yep.
shit hit the fan, and college was terrible. And
Same though. Same.
yeah, so but like, yeah, I missed out on, I was super busy at uni. I was doing probably 20 hours in uni, 20 hours outside of uni doing uni work, working between between like 4 and 6 nights a week at Pizza Hut, doing gigs on the
Same.
weekends. and then any nights I had off, I was going out and doing free live sound work. Like, we call it shadowing. So you go and basically go and be the helper for a sound engineer, and you learn about it, and then they trust you and they let you on the desk, and then it goes from there. So
Oh, okay, cool.
and it yeah, so but at the end of uni, I just didn't have those friends, and Twitch kind of like presented that to me. It was kind of crazy.
That was the same way for me. Like, I talked to people in college. I got them, did the work. You talked a little bit outside the stream or outside of school, the classroom. I just went on a stream. But like, other than that, like, there was no interaction except for my senior year. We did capstone classes. We had to build a company, and like, you got closer. You had to talk to people at like 3 a.m. or at midnight or 2 p.m. You had phone calls constantly, and like, you got to know them on like a personal level because you interrupted their life. It's like, oh, you're with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
My bad. How's dinner? Like, how many drinks you order tonight? Like, do I need to take you home? Are you drunk? Like, you just get kind of close. And it was weird because that was my first taste of like, oh, we're like humans that have interactions and can be friends. Like, I was like, whoa, this is weird. And most people aren't like that.
Yeah.
But I still like occasionally talk to them. Not very often, but
Yeah. So for me, it was like, at the start of uni, I got invited to like parties and stuff like that, and it was, let's just say I wasn't allowed to go because of repercussions. So
Right.
you stop getting invited eventually.
Yeah.
And then the master's degree I was on, there was only like 10 people on it, and a bunch of them were older people. A bunch, and the people. And everyone focused on something so wildly different that we didn't really have common ground. So even though that would have been, so that I was single at that point, I just wasn't presented the opportunity to make friends, because those connections just weren't there.
Right. Especially if they were older, it's a lot of people that have families already that are super busy on their own. They're just trying to get their degree and move on.
Yeah, and they're doing that, like they're working a full-time job, or they've got extra stuff going on. They don't have the evening time to go and hang out or anything like that. So yeah, so that's how I found Twitch. To be fair, the first time I found Twitch didn't really count. I was like 18, and my friend who I was friends with in college was like, oh, I'm going to start streaming Minecraft. I was like, what's streaming? And it was just, I'm sure it was just in TV back then. And so that's why my account's so old. I've had that account since 2011.
Wait, really?
Yes. My Twitch age is old.
Oh, was it account age? I don't know if those work. I need you to type in chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's September 25th, 2011. Holy Jesus.
Yeah, so I've had that account from back in the day. I think I streamed a couple of times because I had like 6 followers.
Wow, yours is a year older than mine. I'm December 31st, 2012. And then Jam said that Amazon emailed him about some free stuff, and that's how he got into streaming. He didn't have any interest to play or watch people play video games until now. That's so cool. Yeah, we're very thankful you stay in Jams. That's so cool. I think this question's been answered before, right? Let me see. Hold on. I got my handy dandy list. What is the first or earliest memory of playing video games that you have?
Oh, good question. Right, so I don't know if this is like a legit memory or not.
Like a fever dream?
No, it like as a kid, you're not supposed to have memories from being super young, but I remember in the house that we moved out of when I was 4 years old. I'm fairly certain I have these memories of like playing the original PlayStation. It was an alien game. It looked awful. And there was also like Tekken 2.
Oh, Tekken 2 is good though. I love that game.
Spyro, Crash Bandicoot.
Yep.
And this was when I was like 4 or 5 years old. The OG PlayStation.
See, I didn't get the OG PlayStation. I had the OG Xbox, the PlayStation 2, and then I went Xbox since then. I never touched PC or PlayStation again. Which I missed out on, like the God of War games. I missed out on a lot of single player games from PlayStation because they were only PlayStation exclusive. As very recently they started putting them on all the platforms, right?
Yeah.
But I play a lot of Gears of War, Halo. That's why Call of Duty is such a prominent thing in my life now. But damn, I merely missed out on all the PlayStation fun. Like I never played Crash Bandicoot. That was the one game I've never played. Of like the Spyro, Sly Cooper, Band of Misfits, Ratchet and Clank. Like all of those were great. But I missed out on Crash Bandicoot, which kind of sucks.
It was the alien movie type game, Chris. But I did play Oddworld at someone else's house when I was like maybe 8 or 9.
Oh my God, Oddworld. That was original Xbox, right, Chris? With the fucking cat looking thing? I think we still have that downstairs actually on the console. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Oddworld.
Was it not Abe's Odyssey?
Abe's Odyssey?
That's the one I remember.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah. Abe's, yeah, I think you probably weren't even born when that came out.
Dr. Mario, yeah. There was a bunch of, so I played Oddworld, Strangers, what is this called? Stranger's Wrath. HD, because that was the first HD game I ever played in like 720p or whatever it was called at the time. It was a great game though. You play as this little like cat-looking Western guy, and he's got this little like crossbow thing on his arm, and like different animals you would grab like bugs, and they would do different things. It was fucking awesome. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Dr. Mario's a pog game though.
Oddworld Abe's Odyssey is the one that I played.
I played Stranger's Wrath. Damn.
And that came out in 97.
I think mine was early 2000s, like 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
HD. I can't believe HD used to be on the game. That's so funny.
So I think like there was a Hercules game that I used to love. On the OG PlayStation. That was the first console.
Oh, you said was it actually just Hercules, or was it like the Kingdom Hearts part?
No, it was the Disney movie Hercules game.
I never got to see that. Damn.
It looks awful now. It's not held its age.
Some games do, some games don't. You know, it just depends. Like I would say, of all basic games that have held their worth since they came out, Dr. Mario's got to be up there, dude. Oh, Chris just sent me an image of this. I think it looks like fucking. Oh my God, they look like the droidicas from Star Wars. Their little heads, the way they roll. What the hell? Huh. I think they're called droidicas, right? The thing with the okay, yeah. Okay, just making sure.
That was the alien game.
These look terrifying. This looks like Doom almost.
Yeah, it was a first-person shooter.
Looks pretty good though. Oh my God, I remember playing Duke Nukem. That was a game I haven't played in forever, but it was a really, really good game that I enjoyed. been a hot minute. All right, everyone wants to know, Lou, what is the best
Okay.
starter Pokemon?
Oh God, the best starter Pokemon. Right, let me preface this with the fact that I've only played 3 Pokemon games.
That's okay.
I played 2, Yellow and Gold.
Yellow was
It was
Totodile.
Nope, Yellow was Pikachu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Shit.
they had red, green, and blue, and yellow.
I never played Yellow. Damn.
So
That's probably where all the Pikachu hype came from then, because you could have him as a starter, right?
I am almost certain I got Pikachu on Yellow.
I think Chris can probably double check.
And then Gold was like Totodile, Cyndaquil, and
then
Bayleaf.
they've revamped Heart Gold and Soul Silver. That was the 2 that I played later on, but I never played the original. I played Sapphire and Emerald. Those are the 2, the earlier ones that I played. So what's the best one?
Okay, out of the ones that I played, I'm going with Pikachu.
Oh, what? That's kind of lame, though. You know?
So I went with Cyndaquil on Gold.
Mm-hmm.
And I only ever played them through once. Like I never even completed them like fully, like 100% of them. So
I don't think I've ever 100%ed any game. I've never beat all of the storyline or all of the. I guess Elite Four, right? Does that count as 100%ing them?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then I have. Heart Gold. I think I 100%ed a couple times. Every starter.
Yeah. So on that one, yeah. So I never had people to trade stuff with as well, and obviously with the Pokemon games, you need to be able to trade. So I played it on like Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going with Cyndaquil. Best starter.
Cyndaquil's a good one. I liked Totodile's final evolution for Alligator, but I didn't like Typhlosion as much. I don't know. I was weird, but I liked for Alligator. For Alligator was fun. Jump to. Okay, so we touched on streaming a little bit, but what do you think the hardest part about streaming is?
Oh, self-motivation.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because streaming is almost like charity, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can go live. In fact, I've done this I could go live for 12 hours a day for a week straight and not make a penny.
Right.
And this is especially hard when you place the importance on streaming that it becomes a job and it's not just fun. So I know people from both sides. I know people who've been trying for years to make it a job. I know people who did it as a hobby and accidentally got partner.
Yeah.
And it became their job over time. And the self-motivation required to not just stream, because streaming itself is not easy, right? You know, turning on a camera, be like, if you're having a bad day, trying to look like you're not having a bad day to entertain people and focus on a game, focus on chat, focus on comms, focus on, your stream not dropping frames, focus on alerts, all that kind of stuff.
Watching chat while playing the game is probably the hardest for me. Like, that's just a really complicated double whammy,
For me, it's a mixture of 3 things. Playing a game, talking to chat, and talking to game chat. Because there's times where people are talking to me in chat, and I'm in the middle of a question, and then someone will in voice chat will ask me a question, and be like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It's like, yeah, I'm just talking to chat. Chill. Give me a second.
Or like on me, and you have to like refocus. Like, where the fuck are you? Where's your ping? Like, what color are you? You have to really think about it for a second.
Yeah. So all that's hard enough in itself. So turning on the camera and doing that is hard, but what's harder for me is the motivation to do everything outside of streaming that people don't realize. So for me, if I wasn't so heavy with my networking early on and literally taking nights off to network with people and get people to know who I am and plan games and stuff, you guys wouldn't know who I was.
Right.
So, like, I got introduced to Iron when he had, like, 15 viewers. That's why he knows who I am.
Right.
and that was through Boo, because Boo knew Iron through Glad, who's an enormous Destiny streamer, and Iron was in his Destiny clan. So Boo introduced me to Iron, and then through Iron, I started playing with Shaded and Yeet and OP Mots and all those guys, and I was like early supporters of their streams, so they all knew who I was because I was the only person in chat sometimes. And it's a real, and the motivation to put that time in, to be like, today I'm not going to stream, I'm going to network to help my stream.
Yeah. It's the hardest thing to like take a step back and do,
Yeah, and not get distracted by watching a movie or hanging out in your friend's stream who already knows who you are, all that kind of stuff. So for me, it's motivation in general, but specifically being motivated to work on your stream outside of a stream.
Yeah.
And not just in a way, like I say, the networking stuff, the other content, not just improving your own stream.
I think what people forget about the streaming aspect is also the other platforms. Like, it comes with networking, which is like growing your YouTube channel, your Twitter, more followers, impressions, like, outsourcing, right? But like, what people don't understand is that if you have a 5-hour stream, you might get an hour, maybe sometimes it's like a minute worth of content, one TikTok. Sometimes you do a 5-hour stream, you have 3 hours worth of content that you have to shift back through and edit into like 10-minute segments. And that takes a lot of time. Like, people don't understand. Yes. Like, people think that, oh, this 10-minute video, like, that's all you got. It's like, no, I probably had a whole 3-hour segment you could watch on live streams, but it's like, I have to cut it down for YouTube. And that takes me, like, a 10-minute video can take 2 hours. And people just don't understand that. It's terrifying.
Right. I'm going to do this really quick. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
If I do this. So you can see this on my camera because I'm doing something really silly with my setup, but... So this, this folder here, this is
OBS recordings.
This is OBS recordings that I have not done anything with. And these are all 30-minute videos, pretty much all.
Oh, wow.
From, so there's like probably 40 or 50 hours of content just on this folder.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not good at video editing. I don't want to spend the time to get good at video editing. And that's definitely let me down over the last 2 years. Like, because my reason is that I did 5 years at uni, plus life experience, plus work experience to get as good as I am with audio.
Right.
And if I want to do video editing, I want to be as good at video editing as I am at audio. And I don't have the time to learn. And I also don't have the money to pay for someone to do it.
I also wouldn't be afraid of putting stuff that you're not happy with. Like, don't be afraid. Like, one of the things that Savage taught me from his interview was that just post every day. Even if it's not the most groundbreaking video or the groundbreaking TikTok, the most edits, the funniest, the coolest, best transitions, best audio, best quality, whatever the fuck it is, just put it out there. Because in 5 years, in a month, you might look back on it and say, I know what I can do differently now. I know that, like,
yes.
And you watch the video back, like, I could have put a transition there. I'm going to learn how to do the transition. I can do a better jump cut. I can learn that, and like, you get ideas to do things better after you've done them, because we get so tunneled on like, okay, it's 20 seconds. How many things can I make in here to make it entertaining for 20 seconds? And you watch it 30, 40, 50 times. You're like, I can add that. I can add that. And then once you go back and look at it, it's like writing a paper, just because you wrote the paper in one sitting doesn't mean you have everything there. You can go back and look at it a day later, got brand new ideas. This sounded terrible. This isn't even fucking English. There's no grammar here. Like, you can go back and look at it. And like, when you post every day, one video might be better than the other one, but it's like, don't compare them to each other. You can, but like, look at what's the good. What good can I take from this one? Put it in the next one. Good from that one to the next one.
This all takes time though, and time is not
absolutely
a luxury that I have. Specifically now I'm doing this new business venture, which is taking up 6 hours a day, every day.
Right.
And then I want to try and stream.
Why don't you try short form content, like just a couple TikToks?
If I had a template, I don't know how to make a template. If I had a template that I could put a clip in and it would automatically position my camera, position the video, and then if I figured out how to do subtitles, I'd be able to do that, but only if it wouldn't take me more than half an hour a day, because I don't think
it would.
time to invest in that, if that makes sense. Like,
if you can schedule, if an audio guy cancels on you, give me a time. I would love to run down a 30-minute. I'll do the editing part and I'll show you what to do for 30. Give me 30 minutes. I got you. It's really simple. So like the TikTok format here, I'll pull it up on my stream real quick. The TikTok format that I use is very straightforward. So
wait, Chris, I thought Mercy did yours.
You make sure it's pulled up on the right screen. Okay, we're good. So this is really straightforward. I should be able to go right. My camera above, it's cut out to be 1080 by 1920 because it's just flipped vertically like a phone. You put you cut the camera here. You blur out the background. So I have 3 layers. One is the blur at the bottom, which is just stretched across and thrown a fuck ton of opacity or whatever it's called. This is the main gameplay thrown in the middle, and then this is a camera on top. Super straightforward. It takes you 5 minutes at most to learn it. And then this is like funny GIFs, finding a font you like, the color, and it's super easy. Like you just do it once, and then you have it basically there. And if you start to remember where your camera is. So for example, I recommend having your camera as far right as possible, so you don't have to cut the right side.
Yeah.
Or if you have it in the bottom right, you don't have to cut the bottom and the right. You can just do the top left. You know what I mean? Like little things like that add up for this type of thing. But obviously, you know,
I've got the short form I've made short form content and it looks good, but it was also demonstrative videos. Like it was how to fix your death columns when they broke death columns in game, and how to fix and then reviewing the automaton. And they just took me so long. It's like 2 or 3 hours for me to get record the content, put it all in a video, edit it so it was something I was happy with, and then
sorry. My bad.
No,
just I was like checking out a video on my other. I was like, oh, I'm streaming. Right, I forgot to. Whoops.
But yeah, so all of those things, it was like, do I get return from this? Like, is it going to bring people to my stream, or is it going to bring people? Because there's so many people who are like TikTok famous, but they still don't have like a busy live stream, and it's getting monetized on TikTok. I don't think it's very lucrative. So I'm a perfectionist. Also really hot.
No, I'm getting there too. I'm like, yeah, Chris said the same thing. Being unskilled and inefficient with video editing takes forever to get something presentable.
Yes.
It doesn't, like, I think what you think is presentable is you comparing it to other TikToks and social media. I think that what you should be presentable is what you think is good for you.
Yes. Well, no, I agree. That's my basis level. It's like, I know that I'm a very capable technical person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So putting out something that I think is anything lower than what my best is would hurt my pride. Let's say. And
yeah, a lot of stream prep.
I've gone to the nth degree now, like of getting, I've got stream clips, I've got clips on my PC, I like high quality video recordings, and I just don't want to do myself a disservice by putting stuff out that I'm not happy with.
I mean, I do it all the time. I think that when I was making thumbnails for these first two or three Therapy Thursdays, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. It's a blue jaded background with 2 faces and a highlight. That's it.
Yeah.
And like, was I upset about it? Sure. Did a couple people click on it and give me, critiques? Yeah. And it's criticism is what I wanted from it, right? But like thumbnails are something that I struggle with. So like researching thumbnails and what works, how to get the angles right, what kind of background do I have with the faces on it? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. And like,
yeah,
what you could even start doing is do it on stream. Get tips from people while you're editing for, I don't know, a quarter of the stream, maybe even 1/10 of the stream. You stream for 10 hours, 1 hour is editing, or split it up 30 and 30 in the beginning, 30 at the end. And you just get better at it, just it takes time. You're absolutely right. It fucking takes time.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, I don't know. I'd rather produce something hard and get it, or no, I'd rather do something really bad and just have it out there to like comment on and learn later on than do nothing at all and think that, oh, I'm not growing. Like Coda said it best yesterday. He's like, dude, the only reason I'm not growing is because of me. It's not about other people. It's not about like I'm doing something wrong. I'm not doing enough. That's what it is. It's just you're not posting as often. You're not doing things the way you should be doing them. You're not doing it consistently. And like that's the thing, is it all falls on you. This in this world, it's sink or swim. And if you're not gonna try to sink or not gonna try to swim, you're gonna sink, you know? So just gotta do all you can, you know?
I think to boil it down, there's two main things. One, everyone who's streaming Warzone is doing funny clips, they're doing cracked clips, they're doing loadout videos, they're doing gameplay videos.
Right.
Why would someone watch my stuff over someone's stuff who's better?
Because it's your take on it.
Yes, but there's only so many ways you can skin a cat, right?
Right. Why are we skinning cats?
It's a figuratively.
Not the cat, Wheezy, run!
So throwing my content into that pool of content is probably is like a drop in the ocean almost, right? And I feel like the only people who've watched the stuff I already put up is people who already watched the stream.
I would say that of the, I think I average about 100 views on TikToks, which isn't much, but I have found 5 followers from it. And that's 1 out of 20. That's not bad. You know, that's not a bad ratio at all. But like, all of them aren't a 1-to-1. You know, all the people from TikTok don't come to Twitch, but some do. And when they do, they don't always come back. But they do give you a bump that might bump enough somebody who's on Twitch to look for it and they see you. And that might be a new viewer. So it was like a 1 viewer came in, bumped you up, a new viewer came in, and then this person left, you still have 1 more viewer. Yeah. And it's like, and then it brings more communities and then rating. And then like, it's just it's a butterfly effect. So for me, I like to think optimistically about it and think, even if I'm putting a half hour into these 10-second TikToks, right? And they don't blow up, it's okay. Even if it blows up, it's not going to be a correlation to my Twitch stream, but it's just something different that I can get and as a new skill. And it gives me that edge above people who are just streaming on Twitch, you know?
Yeah, I know. I totally agree. Like, I should have been doing it 2 years ago when I started streaming, and I'm not. And that's totally on me. If I'd have started back then, it would have been so much easier now because it just would have been. I
just think that's never too late to start. Even if it's just you take 5 minutes and you watch half a video about editing or how to make a TikTok, you know?
So there's that, and then there's also the fact that I just don't want to put something out that I'm not proud of. Like, if I don't want to watch it, why would someone else watch it?
That's a good mindset,
though. It's the time commitment more than anything. Especially now when I'm doing like 6 hours. So today is my first day off from doing my new stuff in probably a month. And that takes up 5 to 6 hours of my day. And then after that,
Grill links something called Hover.
Yeah, I've heard about Hover.
There's a button on each video that says go to their Twitch and it shows that they're live right now. That sounds really cool. Wait, what?
It's like TikTok for gaming. You put your clips on there. And I think that this is in widescreen format.
Yeah, it's in like the regular stream. Yeah, it's 1920 by 1080, not 1080 by 1920. Yeah, but so you get the whole stream.
I might just start putting clips on there once a day. That would be easier because I don't think I don't think YouTube or TikTok are going to be beneficial for my channel unless it's instructional stuff or full gameplays. Like, and I've got.
I completely agree, Andy. What's up, dude? Hover can pull from Twitch clips too, so you don't have to edit it if you don't want to. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, well now I know what Lou's doing tonight. You're gonna learn how to use Hover.
But like I say, it's just a time commitment for me.
Right.
Because so for the last few weeks, it's been doing 5 or 6 hours of properly booked appointments, and then on top of that, doing extra stuff, and then doing meetings, and then it's slow. It's calming down now, or it was until this morning. I don't know if you've seen the clip in shits that I posted.
No.
Look at Satan Audio Dungeon.
What? Wait, really? Wait, did you do his?
I did Maven's, yeah.
Woo!
On Saturday.
That's Pog.
Yeah, so I got a feeling I'm only going to be getting busier. But
that's good, though. That's good.
So Yeah, hover seems
See,
like
but now, Lou, you ready? Right, while you're doing their audio, try to see if they're editors and be like, "Hey, I'll do a little something for you, you do a little something for me," and then we got a little, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, get that networking in there. You already know how to fucking network.
This is true. This is true.
That's what I'm saying. If you know that these people are a bit bigger than you, ask them, who's your editor? How much do you pay? Do you have any other smaller recommendations? Do you have any people on Fiverr that you started with before this person? Get that connection, you know, get something out of it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the hardest part about streaming.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, though. See, these are, and then you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna be such a bad interviewer. This is gonna be so hard for me." Shut the fuck up, Lou. Doing great. I am personally going to do a small pee break because I have to pee really bad. So I'm gonna do a little BRB screen. If you want to keep talking, I can gladly walk away. You can talk with chat for a sec. Wanna do that?
Okay.
Or do you have to pee too? Because most people have to pee this way in.
Oh, I know, I'm good.
All right, I'll be right back. Give me 1 sec. Get him, Lou. It's your stream now.
Chris, what does the code give us? Do you get like... Also, Grill, is there a payment thing? Like, is hover monetized, or is it just exposure kind of thing? Also, hi chat. If I didn't say I didn't say hi to anyone before. Hi, I am Satan. Wait, wait. I can stream.
I am Satan.
Hi Grill, hi Jams. Thanks, Mickey. Much better. Wait. Did I just like kill my mic? No, I didn't. Cool. Yeah, so Chris, is it monetized? Is this hover platform monetized, or is it just like a Twitch exposure thing? And what does using your code do for you? Hello. It is new. What do you mean it's new? I mean, do you make money off hover? And what does the code do? Also, chat. Code Lucy. Code Lucy at Sneak. Code Lucifer at Gamer Advantage. You don't think it's monetized yet. However, it's much better for Twitch than the others. They have like 3 ambassadors. Wait, you have a code though? Wait, did someone... Yeah, someone says there's a grill referral. What does the code do for you? I am baking. It's 25 degrees C outside. What's that in freedom units? 25 C to F. It's 77 outside, and I'm inside with a small fan and a onesie on. Oof. Yeah, Chris, what does the code do if we use code grill?
Why are we gifting subs? Did you also harass the chat for gifted subs like Coda did?
No, he did that before you left, actually.
Oh, I didn't even see it. Daniel, thank you so much for the 5 gifted sub, handsome. How are you today?
Satan commands thee to gift all of thy sons.
Fucking, I go pee for like, I don't know, 2 minutes. I'm grabbing a snack and I come back. There's 20 gifted subs. Like, what the fuck just happened, dude?
Chris as in Christina. Grill is who I was asking. Oh no, Chloe. Gets hot in Sweden. I got very burnt when I was in Sweden.
Did I miss anything? Did not mean to shut the fuck up, girl. What do you mean you didn't mean to promo that? Go ahead.
I'm asking trying to find out what Christina's code does for her on the hover thing.
Oh, maybe it's like a 5% back or like free publicity. You get pushed more. I don't know. I hope you get money in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's disappeared, but
spam liking the homies hover posts. Hover is I've never heard of it before today, so that was really interesting for me.
It's kind of like Athenoscope.
Right, but Athenoscope looks, it was more like a copy of like all your streams together, right? Hover looks like you upload it and then people can interact with it. I don't think you can interact with Athenoscope.
Okay, I never used Athenoscope. I know Jesse used it for a bit, but I don't think he ever did anything with the content.
Right, right. I haven't seen enough on Hover. I'll have to look into it though. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'll look into it too.
You can like, post, and you can GG them. Interesting. Everyone gets a code. As I said, it's new. This is they're figuring it out, but isn't the referral code does much now, but they will in the future. Okay.
Oh wait, right. Everyone gets a code. As I said, it's new. So they're figuring it out, but okay, I see.
You get a limited amount of GGs too. That's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Hang on.
Being bullied by Chat Mickey is easy compared to the rest of the shit we deal with, honestly. All right, Chris. Grill. Chris with a K. Also, bullying me, Mickey, is, I mean, it only works bad for you because you lose your sword, and then you have the worst follow age on the channel, so.
Damn. Damn.
Mickey was legit one of my first followers, like, probably first 100, maybe even lower than that, and then she unfollowed out of spite, so now she's a bot.
Shampoo did the same thing. He's like, you should change your follower thing, or your to clip thing. You have to be followed for like 2 weeks or whatever. And then he unfollowed, so he couldn't clip while he was memeing about it. I was like, Shampoo, you fucking idiot, dude. Hey, yeah, Chris unfollows the IRLs too. That's fucking comedy gold. What question we just enough on? That was streaming, right? Ooh.
Yes.
Okay. Audio Satan Man. Why do you think people get audio wrong on stream?
Oh, good question. Okay, so big three things. First of all, they plug in a mic and expect it to sound good because it's a good mic. Biggest mistake in the world. So that's why I did a video on that.
Like the video. Give the like the video. Link the video.
Like the video. The next thing is balancing levels. So this is actually really handy. I'll just do that display.
What's up, Pass Man?
So this is my if I crop this. So this is
that's
mic.
cool.
You can actually see this on my camera, right?
Yeah, how the fuck did you do that?
So this is, you know, the complicated NDI shit I'm telling you about?
Yeah.
Basically, my stream PC is transmitting the video feed from OBS on the window to over network to my gaming PC, and my gaming PC is using that source as an input.
That's fun, but you can have a camera. You can have both sources on at once. That's so cool.
This is my OBS scene.
Right,
You're just looking at my OBS preview.
Oh, but your camera's the normal camera. Right, okay. That's so cool.
I can just turn the camera off.
What? That's actually insane. Right, that's so cool.
So this is my audio mixer, right? So most people don't get levels appropriately set to begin with. So your overall stream volume is really important because you get ads and you get people have your stream on while they're watching YouTube, listen to music, all that kind of thing, and your audio levels need to be competitive. And if your stream is too quiet when an ad comes on, people are gonna literally have their head blown off.
Right.
So your loudest sound should be your mic, and it should be hovering around the red, the bottom of the red. And then, like, I have a compressor set up, so It doesn't ever get all the way up, okay? And then you match the rest of your sound on your mic level.
Oh, so you're saying
Okay.
I should move mine's like middle yellow when I stream. Like all of it's middle yellow.
Yeah, so your mic wants to be louder than everything else because a lot of people will watch multiple streams, and if your voice is mixed in with the game sound, then they're not going to be able to hear what you're saying over the game while listening to another stream.
Right.
So if you elevate your voice to a position where they can hear you without the game being too loud, then you can have multiple streams up. You can hear everyone talking, and the game volume isn't in the way as much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a really good, easy way to level your audio. Get your mic top of the yellow, bottom of the red when you're talking normally. I have a compressor, so when I shout, it doesn't get too loud. It's not on Discord because my Discord is listening to my raw mic input, and then you balance the rest of your audio from the loudest sound. So for me, I've not got all my audios properly set up on this scene, but this is like the output from voice meter that I use because I'm using voice meter, and you see when you talk,
I go boop.
Yeah, you're at similar level, and that's because I like having Discord loud enough so that stream can hear Discord really clearly over the game, whereas I have Discord way quieter in my headphones. My game is loud.
Yeah, that's the one thing I need to do next is learn how to split the audio so that it's louder or quieter for me, and then move from there. I have not figured that out yet, mate.
You're on GoXLR
Yeah.
on the stream PC, right?
Yes.
That easy to do.
Is it? Okay.
Basically, yeah, so on your OBS, you would add sources. So, right, let me...
Well, so I have it so it splits the Spotify audio first, right? Would I just add that for everything?
Yeah, so do you have a separate fader for music channel?
Well, no. So yeah, I have a music channel, but the stream, because the way you have it set up, right? So it's not in the VODs, is that you have it its own source, and you just undo that track for the VOD, right? The VOD track.
Yeah, and that source is listening to the GoXLR music fader, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you just do that. So you would have the game PC on one fader, which will be your line in. And then you route that to broadcast stream mix on its own. And then your Discord is on the chat fader. Split that. Your mic is on its own fader. Split that.
Yep.
Then you have your system alerts is on its own fader. You split that, and then everything on the GoXLR, apart from the mic fader, will not affect the volume in OBS. And then the OBS has its own slider. Wait, yeah, that's what I was doing with Ray last night.
And then because he had it all kind of clunky, he didn't know how. Oh, whoops! I do like that.
He didn't have it set up at all. So I just did it right from the start.
Yeah,
so that's the two. So the first thing is the mic thing. You can't just plug in a mic and it'll sound good. You have to do stuff to it, especially if we're all running high-end gaming PCs that are noisy because they're cooling a lot, right?
Right.
So noise gates are really important. EQing is really important. And then the next thing is volume balancing. And the other thing is, there was a third thing and I've forgotten.
It's like Chris and Hasman are recommending to watch your streams, like actually look at what it actually sounds like. 'Cause
100%.
Not a lot of people do that.
100%. And there's also like, I've heard a couple of people who have like double audio, or literally the sound devices are set wrong on the PC, so the sound that's going to stream sounds bad.
Right.
Like it sounds really low quality. So some headsets like Astros and HyperX headphones, like the wireless ones, they'll have a voice channel and a game channel, and they set their PC output to the voice channel, and it sounds bad, and then it sounds bad on stream. And then so I did this with Matt Icon a while ago. All of his PC audio was running through the voice channel on his headset, and it sounded really low quality. So he swapped it to game. And it's like instantly fixed it for stream and his headset. And he's like, "This is crazy." Yeah. If people don't watch their VODs, they're never going to know what the issue is.
Right.
That's the two main things. It's just
I want to say that also just comes from, if you only stream on Twitch and that's it, then that's why you don't hear it. You don't record. If you record it, you can tell where the audio is bad or where the quality's bad, or when, you know what I mean? Like I think that's like the next step for most people that stream, is they either need to watch it back or they need to record it and then see how it sounds.
Yeah, but
right?
Twitch VODs always exist, or clips exist, right?
Right.
And what you should always do is compare your stream to other content. So compare it to another big streamer who you think their stream sounds good. Or compare it to Spotify. Or compare it to YouTube. And so you can hear comparatively what your audio sounds like in terms of like, is it too bassy, too trebly, or is it too loud, it's too quiet. But Christina, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So I run Spotify if I'm listening casually at like 50% on my gaming PC, and if the stream is if a stream on full volume, I can't hear underneath that music. That stream is way too quiet.
Oh god, that sounds so bad through Discord. What the hell?
Oh wait, I've got noise suppression on. Okay.
Please hold. Dylan will be with you shortly.
My sister calls me. He's like, "What are you doing?" It's Therapy Thursday. What's that? I've explained it to you 4 times. Right, but you're not working today. But I am right now. I'm clearly on stream working, and and she's like, "I just wanted to bother you. Sorry." Like, okay, thanks, dude. Like, what the fuck? Whatever.
Adorable.
So that's what her plan was.
So cute.
Yeah,
yeah, so yeah, they don't listen back. They expect things to just work. It's like if you plug in a webcam will just be like, without any changes or regards to lighting or positioning, it's just not going to look good. You have to work on it to get it right. Audio is the same.
Yep.
But it's always an afterthought because people don't really know much about it, so they just ignore it.
I also think it stems from, like, most people think that everything's plug and play. Like, you turn on your phone. If you have an Apple phone, most of the apps are very easy to use. If you plug in a controller, it works. But, like, not everything's plug and play when it comes to streaming, right? You get to put your own tweak on it, and yeah, people just don't understand that because they're so used to having everything work, Yeah. So yeah, just listen to your shit back. That's all you gotta do. It's not super hard. Audio settings are magic or voodoo. It's confirmed, as Sally says. So from uni until now, what do you think your biggest mindset shift is?
Focusing on doing stuff I enjoy. So post uni, pre-COVID, I was working in live events, right?
Mhm.
And I was really hell bent on getting on like a tour with a band that I liked, or like traveling around, getting on big shows, using really fancy gear, because it was really exciting to me. And then lockdown happened, I lost the events, I started streaming, and I went back this time last year to go back and work in the live events again. And I was getting paid badly.
Just
so
the worst
2
part
years
for getting
later,
treated like shit. Not the pay matching it. Yeah.
It's physically demanding work. It's mentally demanding work, both on a social level and also a technical level. And it wasn't fulfilling to me anymore. So I did it for a few months, stuck it out. It wasn't worth the money. So I decided to try and apply myself more to streaming and finding a way to use that same skill set in the streaming space.
Mhm.
Helping people with audio. So like this time 6 months ago, I was talking to people about how can I sell myself as someone to help fix stream audio.
Right.
And that's paid off now. As of a couple of months ago. So I'm still using the same skill set, but I get to do it from home. I get to choose my hours. I don't have to go and work an 18-hour day to get a good day rate.
Right. Because these are mostly per session, right? It's kind of what they are.
Yeah, all per session pretty much. And applying myself in a way where I enjoy, and I'm also technically challenged. Because some setups are just like difficult to work on, for example. And like I spent 2 weeks doing the Warzone audio. That was challenging.
Right.
That was very like that was draining almost. But yeah, but I enjoy it 10 times more than I would do in a live setting.
Right.
And yeah, I do miss going out and doing the physical work. Like there's something very cathartic about pushing heavy boxes around. That's why people go to the gym. But I wasn't enjoying it on a big scale. So I was like, I'm just going to leave that alone.
Could you
It'll
do it
be
similar to
there
how
when-
Jesse does it, where like you do a couple weeks of this and then do a couple weeks in person of a couple gigs and like kind of balance it? Or
Not really. So me and Jesse are very different in the way that Jesse has a really specialized skill set
Mhm.
where he is like a special camera tech building guy.
Right.
I'm just an audio engineer.
okay,
I am 10 a penny. Like the part of the reason why all the work I was getting was really badly paid is because all the people who used to be on tours with the big artists were also fighting for the same work I was getting
right.
prior to lockdown. So they're the top of the list. I'm the bottom of the list. So I get the dregs of the work, basically. Whereas
Yeah.
Jesse is so in demand for his skill set in his area, like he can control that. Whereas for me, I'd have to get back on the list, the call list. I'd have to say yes to a load of bad work to get the good work. And
Yeah.
then I'd have to maintain doing the good work to still be asked to do the good work.
Right. So it's not like a pick up and choose kind of a deal. Like, you know, it's
No. Everyone goes to uni to do audio, and they all want to mix the big bands, their favorite artists. So everyone does it for cheap. Everyone undercuts each other just to get to that point.
just to be in that position. Yeah.
yeah,
That's so fucked, dude.
It really is. It's like graphic designers for Twitch, right? You can pay someone $1,000 to do a stream overhaul, and it'll be perfect. Or you can get someone to do like 80% of the work for like $50 on Fiverr.
Right. So everyone hates this question, but what if you could, would you tell yourself something 5 years ago? Or like if you could, what would you do it?
Where was I 5 years ago?
24, I think, right? So 29?
Yeah, so 24. I was mid-uni. I would say this is a really a very personalized thing for me, but
It's your interview.
up
It's
on your
supposed to be
relationship.
personalized.
I know. Give up on your relationship and pursue better things in life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But
Because so
also,
many
if I
people-
did that and if I listened to that, I wouldn't be where I am now, and I love where I am now.
Right. And I think one of the biggest things that people don't understand about, I know so many people that went to college because of their spouse, or they went to a specific college and studied a specific degree because of their partner. And it's like, nah, dude, like, where do you think it's going to take you in 5 years? Do you really think that this is going to be your person for the rest of your life? Like, and if it is, do you think you're going to get along well with a job you don't like, with a degree you don't really want? Like, what are your dreams? Do they line up with this person? Do they not line up with this person? And if they don't,
Yeah.
why not? Like, what do you have to do to change that? Because so many people get caught up in like, I'm going to go to this college. I'm going to be this much in debt. I'm going to get a degree. I'm going to go with my spouse or my significant other. It's like, dude, are you going to be with them for the rest of your life? What happens when the bridge is burned down? What do you do next? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to think about that, but it's also like you are the single most important main character to your story. You have to fight for what your dreams are, what your passions are, you know? But people forget about that. It sucks. And not to be like self-righteous or self-centered, but like you gotta put yourself first sometimes, you know?
Yeah, you
Absolutely do.
I mean, on a personal note, like ever since college for me, which was like 16 to 18, I've had things that have happened to me that have caused me to lose all confidence in myself. And from that age moving forward, it was always a battle of second guessing myself, feeling like I shouldn't be given some of the opportunities that I had, and if I had something that was remotely good, to hold on to it and never let go.
Right.
And that's been detrimental to me for a long time. And you know, like you guys see it when I'm gaming. Like it made me into a very pessimistic person when it comes to myself. Like I can always see the good in other people, but it makes it harder to see the good in me. And that's 5 years ago. That was a really big part of my life. It was, it affected my like relation. Well, it was exacerbated by my relationship at the time.
Right.
And I've got tons better at it. Like over the last couple of years, like I did counseling when I broke after that breakup. I work on myself, like, but that lack of confidence and lack of like self-worth definitely affected the decisions that I made, and I try not to make it affect them anymore. Sometimes it's hard though. Like when I was 15, I was the most popular guy in my group. I was, all the girls liked me.
I can see why.
I was really confident and happy all the time. And then, like teenagers were teenagers and shit changed.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You're a fucking rock star, Lou. Don't forget it.
You guys are too cute.
Absolutely a rock star. You shred on that guitar all the time. Have you decided, like, is there any option for a band left, or do you want to sit back and do the audio for a different band? Is that more of your take now on it?
So part of my degree was I specialized in composition and studio recording. So those two together meant that I wrote a bunch of my own music and made it sound really good.
Oh, okay.
I got my friend to drum on the tracks. I recorded the bass, the guitars, the vocals. I mixed it all. And I've got these musical ideas that I just haven't gone anywhere with. And if I was to start a band or join a band, I'd want it to be my music.
Right. Well, we all want to do that, right?
Yeah. But in the way that, like, the Devin Townsend project, it's his music, but his band plays it.
Yeah.
And they contribute to it and improve it with their skills. I'd want to do something like that. It would be finding the right group of people, having the time. I don't think it's something I could do in this country, genuinely.
Yeah.
I don't, because the sort of like prog metal scene is not that big over here. Especially since all the live events shut down.
That's why I'm excited to see what comes next for live events. Like, I think we're gonna slowly get back into the regular world, less masks and more live events this year, I think. Especially with TwitchCon. Like, that's one of the biggest things that's gonna be happening. Concerts are coming back, at least in the States. I don't know if it's the same in the UK. But very much in the States, everything's coming back. So it's exciting.
We don't have any restrictions anymore. So the live events are back there, but people are still scared to go out. Yep. And everyone, because prices of everything is going up.
Mm-hmm. Driving there because of gas.
Yeah, the price of everything have gone up, and that means that the promoters and the people who are booking the events have less money. So people don't want to pay more to go, but they don't want to pay the staff the right money. It's been 2 years since we worked on live events, right? We should be getting paid more than 2 years ago.
Right.
The inflation's gone up however many %, but they're offering less than ever. Yes.
Well, because it's like that's the thing is businesses don't understand that you have to pay your workers living wages or they don't live and you have no workers. Like, I don't think that, like, it's just so funny. Like, people are like, oh, gas is like on paper, our minimum wage is $7.25 or $7.50 in Indiana, right? Gas is $5.60, $5.70 right now. I have to get to work. I have to work almost 2 hours to get there and back just to pay for the gas to commute there. Like, I don't think people understand that. And it's like, if I have a 4-hour shift, I made enough for lunch today. I can survive today. Woohoo! Like, what about saving for a house, your car payments, your phone payments, life? Like, what the fuck? Like, people don't understand that you don't have money. So yeah, I think things are going to go up and things are going to get better, but it always is a catching game, and you are always losing. You're always there's always somebody losing. So it just sucks that it isn't these billion, trillion, multi-trillion-dollar companies that are the ones that are losing. It's us that loses. So. Oh
yeah, they're the ones that making the decisions to keep us poor, dude.
Yep. And it's all comes down to the 6 families. So you're in a very busy spot right now. What are you doing to balance it all? How do you? What is it? What's the secret?
Oh.
Is it cocaine? Is it?
Sneak energy.
There
Code
it
Lucy to check out.
is. Let's go. I was trying to find the best way to put that in here, and I think that was the best way to do it. Code Lucy at checkout. Absolutely.
Yes. So at the moment, it's a new period. Everything's kind of escalating and escalating and escalating, and these fixed time slots I'm supposed to be working get stretched, let's say. So my availability is like for about 4.5 hours a day. It always runs to about 5 to 6 hours. Plus, on top of that, there's always some new client or someone on Twitter who needs help, or a big streamer or something. And then I like doing long streams. If I get into a stream, it takes me an hour or two to even get comfortable. So I don't want to do an hour or two stream. I want to do 6, 8 hours. So if the work gets pushed that late into the day, I'm just like, right, stream's chalked.
It's impossible, James. Impossible.
So I'm not balancing it very, very well, honestly. So maybe I need the tips.
I mean, some of the other tips that I've had from other people to bring this full circle is give yourself you time. So even if it means losing a gig a day or a gig a week, let's say you lose 2 sessions, right? You need that time to decompress and de-stress. Our Mickey says arson works too. I think someone else said arson last time.
Arson around.
But like you need that time to unwind. Like I talked about this in Coda's chat yesterday. Like the grind mentality isn't fucking real. Like the idea that you have to work 7 days a week, that you have to have over 80 to 100 hours clocked in at your job or whatever the fuck you're doing is it's just stupid. It's not real. Like you need time to decompress. You need time to turn off your brain. You need time to focus on loving your family and spending time with your loved ones. You need time to work out. You need time to like let your brain stop for a second, you know? And for me, I have to take 2 days off of like doing this, right? And I don't want to. I want to do this as many times as I can because I worry that I'm not doing enough. You know, like we always have that fear. We're not doing enough. But like, I know that if I keep just doing 7 days a week, eventually it's going to snap. I'm going to get sick. I'm going to hurt myself. My eye is going to break. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. But at some point, that 3 weeks of 21 days, right, is not worth taking 4 days, a week off, a month off for surgery because something broke inside your body. You need a break, you know? Like, even if it sucks to have 2 days off of work, think of it as like, you don't want to go to college for 7 days a week, do you? Fuck no. You might learn more, but eventually you're going to hit a wall and you have to take a day off. So like, you might as well just do the 5 and take your days to decompress and just shut out everything. No social media. Maybe it's go for a hike. Maybe it's go for a walk. Maybe it's like anything to get your brain to stop thinking about it.
So that is, I'm going to agree and disagree at the same time. There are many jobs when it comes to being self-employed where the grind mindset is essential to being successful.
Right. I think discipline and grind are different though. I think that really?
In my experience, you have to be a yes man in the music industry. If you start saying no to things, people forget about you. They're like, he said no last time, I'm not going to ask him again.
Right.
It's the same with it's similar to streaming. If you commit to being live every day or live X amount of days or doing a minimum 12-hour streams, people start to expect that. And if you move away from that without any good reason or without letting somebody know, or they're not there when you announce it, they don't see the tweet or the Discord message, people will migrate somewhere else.
Yeah.
I had this happen to me. I think it was like this time last year. So I went back to work in May. And prior to that, I was on trajectory for partner. And I was like doing long streams nearly every day. I was playing with certain people, and by going back to work, it took those consistent viewers away from me. It took away the opportunities for me to play with the people that I was playing with every day.
Right.
Like when I was playing with Shaded a lot and Yeet and OP Mart, all those guys. And it's kind of work hard at the beginning and it pays off later. And when it's paid off and you have the fruits of that labor, then you can catch up on the sort of downtime, but it doesn't apply to everything. In my experience, like going and working 20 hours a week overtime at Walmart is not going to better your experience. But in something like a self-made career, like Jesse in the camera business, or me in the audio business, or people streaming, there is a certain amount of grind required, I feel like, to get to where you are. Like,
Right.
you know, if you put out a video every day for a month, that becomes what people expect. And if you stop doing that, people are going to be like, oh, he must have stopped doing it. So they'll go find someone else.
Right.
And I am the worst person. If I get stuck into work, I just work. I worked, well, for many periods of my life, I've worked 3+ months without a day off. And that helped. That at that time, that was what was right for me, and that helped me get to a better position than I was in.
Yeah.
So I can see that there's pros and cons to it.
Right.
Yes, self-care is extremely important. You should never grind at a detriment to yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a very resilient person. I feel like when it comes to working, like if someone put me on a gig on a cruise ship for 6 months where I had to just work every day, I'd be like, okay, at the end of the 6 months, that's over, and then I can chill.
Right.
But when people are like enforcing the grind 12 hours a day, streaming every day with no end in sight, that's when it becomes a problem.
It's just too much. Yeah.
But there's a time to grind and there's a time for self-care. And I think the important thing is finding the middle ground.
Right. I just couldn't imagine doing 12-hour streams every day and then trying to find time for YouTube content, TikTok content, time to decompress. Like, you're basically like, for a 12-hour stream, you have to get up an hour before, maybe a half hour before, shower, eat food, get dressed, do some laundry, whatever you have to do, like adult, like a life, right? And then you have the 12-hour stream, and then afterwards you have to turn off all your stuff. You have to, if you have your own room, like a stream room, you have to turn off all the lights, get everything ready, and then you have to go do the dishes. You have to get ready for dinner. You have to have food prepped for that 12-hour stream. You have to order food. Like, so many things, like, I don't know. I couldn't imagine doing 12-hour streams all the time. That's a lot. Like, when do you find time to edit?
This is what I used to do. I used to stream I used to do a Jesse. I used to stream 10 to 15 hours every day because I didn't have anything else to do. I wasn't gigging with my band. I wasn't doing anything else. I live with my parents, so I don't have household chores that the house isn't going to fall down if I don't go and do it, because it's my parents' house, and I confine myself to this little room so I'm not impacting on their life as much as I can, right?
Yeah.
And that worked really well for me for a long time. Like, I didn't really have anything else to do. And also streaming for me at that time was definitely like it was a coping mechanism for being stuck in this box room. I didn't have anywhere to go. I had nothing else to do. But now I've got other stuff going on. That's why I'm not streaming a lot. I am taking the time to balance being busy with being comfortable, I should say. So like, I'm only streaming a couple of days a week because I am so busy. But I do love streaming long hours, and that's why I only want to start stream if I can do long hours.
I don't know. I personally couldn't imagine doing it. That's all. Like, I did one. Yeah. I tried to do a 24-hour, and it was like, 12 hours. Now you're sick for 3 days, and then you can finish the 12 hours. But after that 12 hours, I was like, dude, I need to take tomorrow off. I'm not built for that shit. I guess
streaming's like endurance running, though, right? You can't just run a marathon. You have to train for it.
Right.
If you do 8 hours for a month, then you do 9 hours for another month, and then 10 hours for a month. You can build it up, and you get. I'm not saying it's healthy. I'm not saying it's a good thing to do. It was just what was right for me at the time, and it did lead me to have good metrics.
Especially since you and Jesse's jobs prior were built upon 8 to 15 hour shifts. Like, you were built to do that shit. You know what I mean? And now you take all that physical labor aside, and this is more brain power. This is more something you enjoy and are passionate about. And yeah, of course you can do 12-hour streams. Well, fuck it, dude. 24 hours, sure. 36, throw it on. You know, like this is just easier compared. Well, easier is relative, but like it's more enjoyable. You know, it's something you can actually kind of unwind with if you play different games. You know.
Yeah, I mean, from like you say, with me and Jesse, our industry works on these obscene schedules. So doing 12-hour streams for a week is like easy compared.
It's like normal work.
I did a gig last summer, and they said it's going to be an easy gig. You'll do like 12 hours a day, and you'll be paid this much. And I was like, no, you're paying me 50% more than that. And they were like, nah, we'll give you like 10, 20% more. But don't tell anyone, it's a secret. I was like, okay, whatever. And then we got to the gig, and I worked 18 to 20 hours a day for 6 days. And it was a case of we would finish work at 1 or 2 in the morning. We'd go back to the hotel, have a singular beer, go to bed, get up at 5:30 in the morning, have breakfast, go back to site.
Yeah.
And that was for 6 days in a row. And you're like, at the end of it, oh, great, it's finished, it's over. But that amount of work in that amount of time is like, that's not uncommon.
No, you're looking at over 60 hours a week. That's probably like almost like 70 or 80.
Oh no, that's 60 hours in 3 days.
Oh. What is that? 120, 140 hours in a whole week? Damn.
Yeah, it was. And afterwards, I was like, you're giving me way more money than you quoted.
Right.
Because it was like the hours that I worked and the pay was like less than minimum wage. I was like, I refuse to work for less than minimum wage. And we didn't get fed.
I don't work for more than 8 hours if I'm not getting paid double. I literally I go to work. I'm like, I'm not working for $7.25, dude. Fuck that. I'm good. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I think it's different because you guys' minimum wage is a bit higher, even though that's a lot of fucking work and stress. I think you're kind of reimbursed a little a little bit because of the money, but also like I don't want to do that all the time, and I don't know. You win some, you lose some.
Well, the thing is, with my skill set, I should never be working minimum wage.
Right.
I have a master's degree in audio. Right. If I go and work a job to do with audio, I shouldn't be earning the same as someone who's working a 7-hour shift at Aldi.
Right. That's kind of how I feel about my degree too. Is just I have a comm degree, but I don't know how to use it yet. You know, if that makes sense. Like I have it, but I'm like I don't know what I'm completely certified in. But if I got a job, it'd probably be like advertising and then digital editing and marketing, and like that's super easy stuff. I can do that. I'm certified in that. But it's also like I don't know. I have to learn about the company and like what they do, how they do it, and obviously I'd be trained, right? Because whatever they do. But it's also like it better not be no fucking $10 an hour. That's how I'm fucking saying. Looking at like 15, I'd be happy with 15 around here. Life's hard.
Sorry,
what is this
these
one?
questions, I am running away these questions.
No, you're doing great. Like a lot of these just depend on the person's personality and who they want, how much they want to talk. I mean, like how much they want to, open up with, right? All the questions aren't perfect. But where do you envision yourself 10 years from now? You're 39, you're knocking on 40 years old. What's the plan? Is it a house? Is it kids? Pets?
I don't want to live in this country. I want to live in the States.
Are you sure about that? A lot's going to happen in the next 10 years here.
Yes.
A lot's going to happen.
No, I mean, this country just is not a good fit for me. Like
Right.
I've worked in the industry where I thought I wanted to work in this country, and it turns out I don't like it. And I just want to be comfortable. I don't
Mickey.
have a need to be rich. Like my life is not going to be significantly improved by having a lot of money. If I have enough money to do the things that I want to do, I'll be happy. I'd like to have my own house, couple cats, that kind of vibe. I'm not.
Oh yeah, crazy cat man coming in.
I'm not the I'm not I've never been one who's like coveted a family, so which always makes life easier. Like, I don't have like a strict age I want to have kids by. I don't have a certain amount of kids, all that kind of thing. The world is overpopulated anyway, right? It's a fact. And I would never want to bring a child into the world where I couldn't provide it with the best life possible. So if in 10 years I'm in a position where I can raise a family in the best setting possible, I'll do it. But if I'm struggling as an adult, how can I expect a child to thrive in that
See, that's where I don't understand. Like, I know a lot of people that are my age that are just now married, right? They're making probably a little bit above minimum wage. They've got an apartment or whatever, but it's like they have 3 kids. I'm like, how the fuck do you have 3 kids? Like, I'm just like, do you sleep? No. Do you work all the time? Yes. How do you have money to afford things? What do you do? Like, do you do drug deals on the side? Like, how do you have money? I don't get it. I don't know. But somehow they're surviving in Northwest Indiana, and I don't know if they're thriving, but they're alive and happy.
Yeah.
You know,
surviving and thriving is different.
Oh, like, absolutely.
I would rather get myself into a position where I am happy and comfortable and able to do all the things I want to do before I commit
it really is, Indy, 100%.
Adding another life form into that equation.
Yes.
So 10 years from now, I want to be living stateside. I want to, if I can take what I'm doing now in terms of work and push that further. So 10 years from now, I think the whole environment of streaming is going to be very different.
Oh, absolutely.
People are always going to start streaming. There's always going to be people who start. There's going to be people who start. Like, maybe I'm doing this work, but not in this form anymore. Maybe I'm working as like an audio designer on a game. I don't know. Like, I don't have like a specific job I want to do. I don't have anything specific goals. I just want to be happy and comfortable.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a lot of people's end goal. Like, they just want to live. They don't want to live lavish. They don't want to be billionaires. They just want to be enough money to survive, do the things they love, find a job they're decently passionate about, and then just kind of go through the ropes. You know, like, they don't need anything crazy. Yeah.
I want to be I want to be surrounded by people who I love. They love me. That's so important to me. And like here, yes, I live with my family. And that's amazing. I don't spend very much time with them because I don't want to impact on their life. Like, I moved out 8 years ago. I never planned on coming back. But it just happened. But 10 years from now, I want my own place. I want to have good friends. I want to have a comfortable life.
Right. I think that's a good thing to envision, though. I don't know. Some people are like, I have to make. Again, it comes from the grind mindset and just the American dream, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But everyone wants to be a millionaire. They want to make as much money as they can now. You know, don't go to bars, save up all the money, and then just that's their life. You know, I couldn't imagine doing that.
Yeah, the journey is equally as important as the destination.
Well, I think the destination is just what you envision, but then like the journey is what's important. You know, how you get there, what you learn, the people you meet. I think it's a pirate quote, right?
Something like that.
It's like the destination's not important. Like, the treasure's not important. It's the memories we make, matey, or something like that.
But it's important to have a destination, I feel like, because if you don't, the journey's harder because there's no guidance. You get to a fork in the road, and because you don't have a destination, you don't have an informed decision on which path to take.
Right.
But living in the moment and like letting yourself experience the journey and letting that mold you as a person is equally as important as where you're going. I feel like.
I agree. Yeah. Absolutely. This is the darkest question from the set of questions. What is
Okay.
a life lesson that you learned the hard way?
You can't fix everything or everyone. There's been with numerous people over my life and numerous things over my life, I've lost myself in pursuit of
Like saving others?
or something, whether that's like a job or a relationship or not necessarily an object, but it negatively changed who I was at the time, and it's really hard to get yourself back from it.
No, it absolutely is. I think people forget that. Like, chasing after something doesn't always end the way you want it to. Trying to change someone doesn't mean that they're going to change in the way that you want them to change, you know?
Yeah.
Like, change is relative. It depends on what happens in the context, you know? You also just can't change people, which is really unfortunate.
You can change people if they want to be changed, if they want to be helped. We've all had that friend or friends who they wallow in self-pity, and you give them practical solutions, you give them emotional solutions. By the end of the day, they just don't want the help. Part of their personality is that emotion. And pursuing that at detriment to yourself, you should always give it a good shot. You should always give it a fair shot. But if you find that it negatively impacts you in a bad way, in a big way, then you've done your best. And continuing to do your best and smashing your head against a wall at your own detriment is really, really just not a good way to live.
Right, absolutely. And people forget that, you know? They really do forget that.
Yeah, like I said, I've learned that many times over. As like, maybe it'll work on this person, or maybe it'll work on this job that I want, or maybe it'll work on this gig that I want to get. And it didn't.
Right.
So I am it's kind of like walking away from an argument that you know you're going to lose.
You just kind of given up, or?
Yeah, just if I have, Mickey always uses this phrase, and it's always about it's about your like energy is in a cup, right? And you pour your energy out of this cup, and you should always leave enough for yourself. If you've emptied your cup into a problem, you've gone too far. Because then you've got and it's something I still struggle with, but leaving enough in your cup for you and those who are closest to you when they're in need is super important.
And that's where I think like the grind mentality for me, I perceive is not real, is because so many people will take their cup and dump it all into that one passion. They forget about family, friends, relationships, themselves, and they just negate it all. They just like, all right, this is my thing now. And I think it happens to all of us at least once while streaming. You just forget everything. Like, I know what I need to do every single day to get there, but it might take a year, it might take 5 years. But it's also like, how long can you just keep dumping the cup into it until it works?
Yep.
You know, why don't you just take 80%? 10 goes into you, 5 and 5 for your family and friends. And then it's like, you can slowly get there. It'll take more time. That's okay. We've all got time. We just need to take care of ourselves too, you know?
It works with relationships too, like friendships, romantic relationships. You know, if you're one-sided relationships are the worst.
Agreed.
Stay away from them.
Well, because some people just take. They don't give. They just take. And it's just like, I have nothing else to give, dude. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Exactly, dude. I've tried for years to make friends IRL, right? Through jobs, through studying, through whatever. And I can never make it work. All my best friends are online. All my best friends are 5,000 miles away.
Right.
If I if I needed emotional support, there's no one in my um immediate vicinity who I could go and drive and see and be like, "Yo, dude, I really need you right now." I would reach out to people online.
It's
I would
funny because the only times that I've had to reach out for deep conversations have been people from our community. Like
yeah,
it's comforting, one, knowing how much we know them. That's like, we know them very well, but two, you also don't get to see that side of them all the time. And like, you sometimes they're incredibly good at relationship advice and life advice, and other times it's like, oh, I thought you'd be a little better than this. You're like,
Yeah.
you know nothing. Sorry, Mr. Sir. But like, I've talked a lot of times about relationships with Dorsey and EXO. Like, those have been the two biggest ones. A couple times with Charles, but it's like they give, especially if they're older and more wise, like Charles, they give you advice you want to hear first, and then they give you like, here is a solution to the pain that you're feeling, and if you want to take it, but if not, it's okay. You can wallow in your pain for a while, but just know that this solution's over here, and whenever you want to grab it or look at it and understand it, it's over there, you know? And like, sometimes people just want to be comforted. They just want to hear everything's going to be okay, and then eventually once you get past that point, they want to hear, so now what? And it's like, well, it's right there. I already told you, like, whenever you want to grab it, go for it, you know?
Yeah. So for me, like, my bandmates are lovely people, right? But I feel like I don't connect with them on an emotional level that I need as as a person.
Right.
They're very they're 10 years older than me. They're focused on their own lives. They have their own issues. And they're the people who I see most. Like, I feel like other friendships I've had kind of facilitated both parties in the friendship doing things in the real world, like airsoft or going to the cinema because you don't want to go on your own, going go-karting, going hiking or whatever, that kind of stuff. But like I feel like if I'm not like understood at like a high intellectual level, I can't emotionally connect with people very well. And I definitely feel like my friends online are very understanding of that in terms of what my intellectual needs are. I'm trying. What I'm trying to say in a nice way is that I can't talk. I can't be friends with dumb people.
Right.
Like, it's just not fulfilling for me, and they don't understand the energy that goes both ways in a relationship.
When you this is a bit of an interject. When you get a chance, make Mickey a red flag emote. Like, do a little gif of a red flag moving and just Photoshop it to her face and just have her going like this. There's a I swear, she's the only person that talks about red flags, and I think it'd be so fun to have a red flag Mickey emote. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Anything else on that topic you wanted to share with?
I don't think so. I think I talked
this
about
is
it
the
in every way
one
possible.
This is the one where a lot of like emotions kind of surface, and it's like, it's okay to talk about them, kind of thing. Especially because for me, like, a lot of the mistakes that I learned. Or is that this question? Nope, that's a different question. Sorry. A life lesson that I that's the next question. A lot of them that I learned the hard way was just relationships with like Katie, and like prior relationships where like I thought I was doing the right thing, and I promised I was doing the right thing, but then now I realize that I promised to a lie that I thought was a truth, you know? And it's like, I wish that I knew in that moment that this is a bad decision, or that what I'm doing isn't supposed to be correct. Even if I think with every fiber of my being, I think this is right when we have to do this, it wasn't the right thing. So
yeah,
it's good to talk about, you know?
Absolutely. Like, you can hold on to things too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Learning when to let go is hard to learn, hard to act on in the future, even if you've learned the lesson.
Yep, and then hard to accept that they happened.
Yeah.
It's even harder to do that.
Yeah.
Like, so many of us get caught up. It's like, oh, if I knew what I knew now 5 years ago, so many things would be better. It's like, would it have, though? Would you have listened to yourself? I wouldn't have. I sure as fuck wouldn't have.
Yeah. I had people telling me 5 years ago the stuff that I should have told myself 5 years ago, and I didn't listen because I thought I knew better. I thought, I didn't act on it, and I should have done. They were right. But it was also acting on that advice requires so much like mental fortitude to admit that you're wrong, admit that you're about to lose something that you don't want to lose, and you put it off because you're not ready.
Right. And sometimes the solution can be like, it's right in front of your face. Like, it's like, I can just, but I'm not ready for it. Exactly. You don't feel ready for it. It's like, why not? Just take a chance. What could go wrong? You might fall, but you just get back up, you know? Like, that's the thing is somebody, I mean, that's what my next question is. If we learn from our mistakes, why do you think people are afraid to make them? And then they're worried about not getting back up, you know? Like, they're scared to, that's going to happen to me. And what happens now, you know? But it's like, you learn.
I think so taking this question at face value is it's pride.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay, yeah.
No one
I think that's the first time I've heard pride for it, actually. That's cool.
Yeah, well, because everyone wants to be right all the time. Like, and being wrong is so frowned upon in society. It's like, if you're wrong, then you don't get that job. If you're wrong, then you don't get this opportunity. If you're wrong, we're going to cancel you on social media.
Yeah.
But then when you take this to like the higher level, if it's like, you know, like, people don't want to make mistakes in very important situations because they don't want the negative effects.
Right,
because they think that that is not a path towards happiness. Whatever they attribute happiness to be, whether that's more money, whether that's finding the perfect partner, whether that's having kids. And also learning from mistakes is hard.
Yeah.
It's humbling. It's a very difficult thing to like swallow your pride and just say, I was wrong. I will try my best the next time something like this happens. And making mistakes kind of can like change the flow of what you think is happening, and people don't like change. Kimbo's right. Kimbo people hate change. People hate their comfort zone.
So that's actually my girlfriend, Lou. She's a smart gal.
What?
Kimmy. That's Kimbo.
Kimbo. Oh, awesome.
I know a lot of people. I always say that it's Kimmy because people are like, well, who's that? How do you know her name? That is the girlfriend, chat.
Hi, Kimmy. Nice to meet you.
Hold on.
Satan.
Yeah, Mickey's right. That's so like in healthcare. In healthcare, mistakes are high stakes. Literally the highest stakes. And that's a legitimate fear. Like, you don't want to kill someone and be like, oh, shouldn't do that next time.
Whoops a daisy.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I had two things of mail.
It's all good, dude.
Confused on what they were. I was like, uh-oh.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. I know I'm taking up so much of your time.
Shut the fuck up. As long as you're on this is all your interview. Whatever time you have to go, just keep going. I'm fine with it. I think we touched on this a little bit. For unwinding when life gets rough, what do you do? You haven't figured it out yet, right? You're on a rough spot.
No, I love watching movies and TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm that really annoying guy that's like, don't talk to me while I'm watching this show. No, shush. You want your popcorn? Go and get it yourself. I love getting wrapped up in stuff.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I'm really picky about what I watch. It has to look really good. It has to sound really good. It has to be a riveting story. Whether that's like action or emotional or stuff like that. I love getting sucked into stuff. I binge watch stuff so hard.
So what have you recently binge watched? Like in the last couple weeks, months?
So the last thing that I binge watched is.
I think he said it's a lie.
What's a lie? Exactly what is a lie? I binge watched the whole of Stranger Things in like 2 nights.
Wow.
Not the whole, like the last.
Guns
The
and
last,
movies and shows all the time. Wait, what? You tell her
Wait.
about guns and movies?
Oh yeah, I make comments about,
Oh.
like, oh, that's this gun. I'm flexing my knowledge.
Oh, you're that guy. Okay, I'm not watching a movie with you then. Fuck you. Oh no.
It depends who I'm watching with, but like,
Oh, you're
I-
mansplaining, Lou? Come on,
Oh
dude. That's
my-
so 2018.
all right, can we get a timeout on Miss You?
Yeah, I think for me it depends on the movie. Like some movies, I'm like, oh yeah, like give me some background. If it's a movie that I'm like seeing the second or third movie and I haven't seen the prior one, give me some context, right?
Oh, I can't do that. I
Oh.
can't jump into late movies in a series. So it's like people are like, oh, have you watched Lucifer? Your name's Lucifer. It's like, no, the only series on Netflix is 4 and 5. I want to go watch the first 3, but I don't know where to watch them. I don't want to pay for them if I'm paying for a streaming service.
I hate when they do that, when they have different seasons of shows on different streaming software or places. Criminal Minds has all 12 seasons except for the last one on Netflix. Like, what the fuck, dude? Who decided that was a good idea? Like, it makes no
Yeah.
sense. Like, the other platform doesn't have the first 12. It's 12 on Netflix and then one on, like, prime time. I don't even know. It's not HBO. It's like prime time or some shit. Like, what the fuck, dude? Oh, it just angers me so much because I haven't seen it yet because I don't have it. Ugh.
Yeah, so when I was watching Stranger Things, actually, I had a couple of streams up, but they were muted.
Mhm.
And I'd like, if someone pinged me in chat, like I'd hop in and be like, yo, what's, like, what do you want? I'm busy. But that's like, I don't like having other stuff going on while I'm watching. So I just want to get sucked into it and forget about the whole world. And like there's been some points where I've got so sucked into a show while I'm binge watching it that it changes how I view the outside world.
Wait, it's daylight
changes-
today?
No, not even like that, but it's like, hold on, there's this really intricate emotional relationship over 3 episodes with these 2 characters. Like, let me extrapolate that and apply it to this world, real life situation.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be like, holy fuck, I should act differently here to be a better person. Like,
Right.
They're acting wrong on the show, and I need to do the opposite of that to be right, or I should take hints from stuff like that. But that's how I like unwind, is definitely locking into some like content that's nothing to do with my day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
Or like I really like fantasy stuff.
How many times have you fallen asleep during movies, Lou?
Oh God, a few.
Like, was it because they were boring and they couldn't keep your attention, or were you just beyond fucking exhausted?
I'm beyond exhausted.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, see, it's so funny. I've seen a handful of movies that are like the second or third, and they explain the prior. So I didn't see Frozen 1. When I was dating Katie, she wanted to see Frozen 2 because it came out. I didn't see Frozen 1, so I lied. I'm like, oh yeah, Frozen 1 was so good. And then we went to go see Frozen 2 because I knew she wouldn't let me see it without seeing the first one. And they explain all of the first movie in the second movie. I'm like, wow, that was fucking convenient. Like, wow. And it happened in Sonic 2. Like, they gave a lot of context for the first Sonic. I saw the newest one. It was really good. But like, I didn't see the one before it. I didn't see. Oh god, Kimmy's gonna yell at me. I didn't see the first Doctor Strange. I saw whatever of Madness, Monsters of Madness, whatever.
I fully like. I have to watch every Marvel thing that comes out in order, so I know what I can take stuff from one and attach it to the other. Because this was part of the experience for me. I know not everyone's the same, but I like to know everything that's going on because it makes it more interesting when they throw throwbacks in or Easter eggs and stuff.
Right. So like when I saw the new Spider-Man movie, the newest one, I didn't understand Andrew Garfield's second movie with Electro or whatever the hell his name was. I was like, who's that? And then they explained, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, it kind of clicked, but it was like, oh, who are you? Like, hello, surprise.
When I get sucked into movies and stuff, like yeah, it really relaxes me and it allows me to fall asleep. Whereas I've had many nights. This is the first couple of weeks when I was doing this Warzone audio stuff. I just wasn't sleeping, so I was so stressed. I get into bed, my brain is fizzing. Like, how could we change this to make it better? What do we need to experiment on? Who do we need to experiment with to get feedback? And if I'd have just sat down and watched 2 episodes of a show, I would have fallen asleep straight away instead of lying in bed awake for like 6 hours trying to sleep.
See, I haven't had a movie like that like wraps my brain around. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, why would I don't know. I've never had that happen to me before. At least not in the past like 5 years. Maybe it happened when I was a kid. Most movies I just watch and enjoy and watch. Like in the first episode of The Boys, you should definitely watch The Boys if you haven't seen it. It's really good.
I've watched the first 2 seasons.
Okay, have you seen Invincible?
No.
Highly recommend that too. Both are on Prime. But like in the first episode of The Boys, they talk about how this monopoly is held by these supers, whatever they call them. It's like, yeah, it's kind of how the world works. Like there's always some guy at the top with all the money, and that's why things are covered up under the rug. That's why cops are a thing, and like things get swept under the rug, and actors, you know.
I saw a tweet yesterday where season 3 is getting view bombed because of it's become political. It's like, it's political from the start.
Yeah, we literally kill people. Like, of course it's political. It's always political. The whole concept of the movie or the show, from what I've seen from 3rd or 4th episode, is that these people are faking saving people, and they're just making money off of it. That's all it is. Like, they're not actually saving people.
The whole show is a gratuitously violent satirical play on current society.
Yeah. Well, that's what I kind of figured.
Spin on it.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Like, and I'm like, of course it's political.
It's just because of the current social climate is.
Vox Machina is really good too. If you haven't seen that.
What's that? Is that a movie?
It's a D&D. It's a cartoon based off of the D&D campaign. Critical something. Oh, we talked about it a couple days ago. What's it based? Critical what? Critical. Hold on.
No.
Based off of Critical Role. It's based on a campaign of one of the Dungeon and Dragon web series called Critical Role. Sorry. And all of the characters are from the campaign. All the voice act, like the characters are from the campaign. The whole show is based on that D&D campaign. It was really cool. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not really big into like animation.
Haven't I, Cole?
Stuff. Well,
or
maybe
Chloe,
if I
sorry.
get around to it. And also, I'm not giving myself time to watch stuff at the minute. Like,
so they're 20-minute episodes, which is awesome because I didn't have a lot of time to watch it either. But I made time after the first episode. I'm like, this is kind of fucking cool. I'll like stay up a little later to watch an episode or 2 at night. So good, so good. Have a good one, Grill.
Bye, Chloe. Bye, Christina.
Bye. Yes, so like some of the voice actors are Ellie from The Last of Us. If you played League of Legends, Yasuo is one of the characters. The guy who plays Hanzo in Overwatch is one of the characters.
Hanzo.
I'm trying to think of like other characters off the top of my head. Those are the main 3. I think the big brute guy is based off of like Axe from Dota 2. I think he's the same voice actor.
Okay.
I'm trying to just think of like more characters. The Ellie one caught me off guard because I was like, I can like totally hear your voice in there. But like, not only is she Ellie from The Last of Us, she's also from like 4 or 5. Oh, it's also Abby from The Last of Us? Oh, it's both the characters from The Last of Us. Sorry.
Okay.
A lot of cool voice actors.
Thinking back as well, when I was living in places I didn't want to live, and I had nights off, I would binge watch so much shit on Netflix and stuff. And I think that's what probably started this whole thing. So I would binge watch stuff so I could forget about where I was living and where I was at the time, and just like take myself out of that environment and put myself into this fictional place.
Yeah.
I think that's where I got that habit from.
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely where you got it from. Yeah, apparently David Tennant's in there somewhere too. Like, it's a lot of voice actors. I was very caught off guard. I was like, oh, you're in this now too. Like, a lot of cool people, and the whole show was really good. A lot of good twists and turns and different characters. A lot of cool enemies. I think it's just the first season, but it was like 12 episodes divided by 20, so 4 hours worth of show. It was really good though. I really enjoyed it. It would go by pretty quick. What is a quote that you think everyone should live by?
Ugh. Every time I've seen people answer this question, I don't know what my answer would be.
Oh, you've got to have something.
No, it's
Could be a song lyric. Song lyrics are quotes.
okay. Well, if we're going down that, like, I'll go with one of my tattoos because I have 2 tattoos. That's all I've got, and basically, so they're down
SMH, Mickey.
down my
SMH.
back, and one of them is it's a paraphrased quote from a blog post by the singer of Lamb of God.
Mhm.
Like, he has a personal blog, and it's "Walk in the sun, but fear not as you slip into shadow."
Ooh.
And it's kind of, I mean, everyone can extrapolate their own meaning from that, but for me, it's like basically live your best life, but don't be scared when it goes to shit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for anything, like enjoy the good, but there's some bad that comes along with it. You know, you have to balance both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
There's 12 hours of daylight and there's 12 hours of sun or of moonlight. Like it's just a balance thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm 100% with that. Like, don't be afraid when things happen. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid when things don't turn out the way you want to, because it could be a learning experience. You know.
Yeah. And the other one is from a Lacuna Coil song called "Wide Awake," and it's "Freedom begins when you get out of the cage you built."
Ooh. At America.
So, yeah, it's like don't be the thing that limits you.
Yeah. No, that's a good one to go by. Yeah, absolutely.
And I like I said earlier, like my own like self-worth and confidence is something that I work on every single day.
Mhm.
It's especially with streaming, like, you know, I follow so many people, right? I've got like 30, 40 people online. It's like I have to battle with myself to go live when there's so many other options. Well, that is me being my own
Right.
cage.
Yeah. It's also like, but there are people that will choose you over those 30.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's the kind of thought process I have to go through some days just to press go live.
Well, so sometimes I hate going live because I feel bad for taking other people's viewers. Like, I'm like, go, like they're close to partner. Go watch them. You know, that's why I try to rate people that are like really close to partner. But it's like, damn, it kind of sucks because it's a very, very oversaturated market. Everyone wants to be partnered. Everyone wants to do this full time. And it's like, it's a competition. It's like, it kind of sucks, but that's just how it is. That's also the worst, is that when I go live, I have to close out other streams of like watching the homies and lurking. Because now I'm streaming. It's like, damn, dude, now you lost it. I feel bad. But that's life, unfortunately.
I think the key to a strong community is the people that are there who aren't streamers, who aren't people who are tabbing you just to give you a view.
Mhm.
Like, and that's how channels get big. Something attracts them to only want to be there when that person is live.
Right.
And not out of wanting just to support them, but wanting to be engaged in the content. Yeah, like, no, I don't know how to add to anything that both of us have just said, but it's both, you know, everything's like, it's just fact. Especially like when you have a very large community in terms of like community of streamers.
Yeah.
Whenever, you know,
it's more diverse. People move and go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like, because some people think that once you get followed or rated by somebody, like all of them are going to stay. No, most of them are probably lurking. Especially if you look at like Huskers, I would guess that of his 800 viewers right now, 300 to 400 are lurking easily. They just popped up or they're intently trying to learn something. They're not typing in chat, or they're doing something in the background. You know, like they're probably lurking is what it comes down to. And that's just how like, Twitch works. Easy.
I like.
Hey. Away from the door, pussy boy.
I really
our
like
main
having.
door's open, so he's like, "What's that?"
Okay. I really like having streams on as when I'm doing something else. I felt like I'm working. So like, if I'm like focused on something, it's nice background noise, and I'll put music on and I'll put the stream just loud enough so I can hear them talking um over the music. Yeah, like Mickey says, it's nice having someone up so you like don't feel alone. And like I think that's definitely a habit we got into over lockdown.
Oh, 100%.
You're restricted to the room or the building that you're in. You can't go out, you can't socialize if you live alone. Twitch was kind of a lot of people's only form of socializing.
And I think it's one of the things that we neglect nowadays is like, now that we have the ability to go outside, we're like, I don't want to go outside anymore. Like,
Yeah,
I've been liking the indoors. It's nice in here. It's safe.
Yeah.
It's air conditioned.
Cozy.
Yeah, it's air conditioned now.
It's not air conditioned here.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's like 90 degrees outside right now. And
It's like
a high 95.
here.
Ooh. Oh, thank you. It's 95 with, let's play guess the humidity. I'm going to guess 80% today. Let's find out. It's my favorite part of Indiana is just guessing the humidity. Because like anything over like 70% humidity is terrible. Here you go. 90 degrees with 96% humidity.
Sheesh.
So it's like a real feel of like 107 or some bullshit. Like, yeah, welcome to I love my state. It's so good. There's no wind either. Like, it's just 8-mile-per-hour winds. That's it. I'm gonna fucking die, dude. What's humidity? It's just the moisture. I don't know if she's asking that as a meme, but it's just the moisture in the air. So if you have 100% humidity, it's basically 100% concentrated water in the air, and you can't breathe. So it's fun.
Yeah, I guess for me, like I got out of the habit a long time ago of just tabbing everyone up. Because I'd rather be active in one channel and be contributing to the content or the community than having 10 streams up so they have a view, but I'm not providing anything. Like, because I only watch because of like how busy I am and stuff. I only have streams up when I can be in streams.
Yeah. I'll keep one tabbed on occasion. Like I have Angst tabbed right now while I'm streaming, but I'm also not like actively in that stream, but like when I go to play a game, I'll probably close it out and whatever, But
yeah, and I'm not saying that lurking is bad. I'm not saying that
no.
Like lurkers literally like are the reason why Twitch is a thing. Like my dad every day while he's working has this Facebook streamer up on his iPad. He never talks in his chat. I don't think he ever has done, but he's been watching him for like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And he has that on as content while he's working. As like, instead of the radio or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. It's another form of entertainment that people don't understand. It's just hearing voices.
Totally. Well, I am just not. I don't feel like I'm providing value to someone's stream by lurking.
Right.
Like if I'm actively in streams, it's because I have time to be there, so I want to contribute. And I can't do that on several streams at once because it's it's impossible to listen to 7 people all talking at the same time. Figure out if they're talking to you or their teammates, especially if they're all in the same squad, because you have 4 streams up.
The funniest thing is when 4 people are live and they're all on the same stream. It's like, you just hear all the voices back and forth. Like some delay is like a millisecond more, some delay is like 300 milliseconds more. It's like I, and then it's just like da 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 da. It's like ah. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't. I have one stream open if I have to.
Yeah, that's it, Jams. Like, I don't ever play off stream anymore, but I respect that. I totally respect that.
Yeah.
Like, you go and check in and be like, oh, look, you just made a nice play. GG's. You just won, whatever.
Yeah.
But if I have 5 streams open, I can't keep up track. I can't keep on track with them. So the most I'll only be talking is in like 3. So like last night, I helped Savage set up his stuff, and it kind of got too late for me to stream, and I was tired. I wanted to have a nap, and I didn't end up doing that. But I was in Savage's stream, I was in Jamal's, I was in Shaded's, I was in Jesse's, like, but only one at a time. I'd go in for like a bit, and be like, chat, whatever, watch the gameplay, whatever. Go over to another one. But I intended to be there, and actually chat instead of just tabbing them. Okay.
No. Hey, he's fine. Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on the little shitbag. No. He's hey! 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 he looked at me, he's like, can I keep going? Is he looking? Oh, fucking bitch, dude. That's the one thing that's like upsetting about cats is they're so curious all the time. All the time, dude.
I love it. My cat's not curious enough to ever come in my room. He just like sleeps on the couch all day, then goes out at night. He's very simple.
Wheezy will go right here, right in this little area. But basically I can see the front door from here. It's adjacent to my room. But there's a window next to it that he likes to sit and watch people. But what he'll do is when he sees them coming in, he'll crawl over our little chair rack or our shoe rack and look at them when they walk in the door. And he is like super excited because it's so warm outside. All the chipmunks and the squirrels are running around. He's like, oh my God, this is so cool. But no, I'm the same way. I'd rather be in one stream. If I'm editing on one monitor, I can only have one stream open. I can't tab back and forth or I lose focus on editing or whatever else I'm doing. And I'd rather just be in one stream, be a part of it, say GG's after every game, because you can hear the screaming in the back of your monitor, like, oh yeah, we fucking, so you know the end of the game's coming, because everyone's like, on me, snapshot, go, top roof. He's just screaming the whole time. It's like, okay, time to type GG's. But like if it was 5 streams, man, I'd go crazy. I would not be able to hear all the voices and distinguish, and yeah, no, I'm good.
Exactly.
It's not for me. Were there any additional thoughts or comments you had regarding all this? Any other emotions, memories, or quotes you might have now?
Yeah, my only 2 quotes, unfortunately. I like the ones everyone else gave. So just repeat those ones. I don't know, like, just don't be a dick.
Yeah, that's a good one to end with. Don't be a dick. That's what people forget about sometimes.
Yeah.
Chat, this is where you guys get to have the floor. Any questions, any additional comments, anything you want to know about the handsome, devilishly handsome man next to me. But for me, I mean, this was just an awesome interview. I had a lot of fun. A lot more. Red's like, oh no, I missed everything. It's been a 3-hour interview. It will be posted. Oh my God, I'm so behind on Therapy Thursdays. I don't have Grill and Tony's thumbnail for today. I still don't have Brahms from 2 weeks ago. They're posted on YouTube. They're just private, so I don't have a thumbnail. So I'm probably gonna get off and do that after this. But oh, hold on, it's Blender time.
Blender go brr.
Yeah, I don't know what we're making. Hoping we're sharing though.
Right. Top 5 movies, Chris? Right. I can't give you top 5 movies. It's just impossible. I've seen so many, and movies are so like I could maybe do top 5 in a genre, but I like so many movies. I'm not difficult to please when it comes to movies.
Hey, I'm glad you appreciate it. Like Dimitri. It's been a lot of fun. I do these every week.
I'm also not a person to watch movies more than once, usually.
Oh, really?
Like, I typically, like, there's so many movies out there. Why would I want to watch one over, like, more than once?
I mean, for some people, it's nice to, like, if it's a crazy movie like Spider-Man, right? The newest one. You get to see so many new references and, like, go back and see something different, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I like rewatching Marvel stuff to get ready for the next ones.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But I've not seen a movie in the last 5 years that I've wanted to go and watch again.
Hell yeah, Mitri. I try to post them on my timeline on my Twitter.
Favorite Dr. Seuss book? I've never read a Dr. Seuss book, Mickey.
What? Bro, if it's not Green Eggs and Ham, we're throwing hands. Green Eggs and Ham.
Dr. Seuss isn't that popular in the UK.
I don't know why it's popular here either, now that I think about it.
Fun question. Would you rather fight 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? 100 duck-sized horses, easily.
I think they would take you out.
I'd just kick them.
But there's 100 of them.
I'm black belt in Taekwondo, so.
Oh,
shit on
the Lorax was a good
horses.
movie too. Screw the tiny horses. I feel like 100 of them would just overwhelm me. Like it'd be too many charge. Like, could you imagine 100 cats chasing at you? You know?
Oh, right. Cats. cats have claws. 100 cats, like 100 duck-sized cats, would be terror. But like horses, all they
aren't
can
cats
kind
and
of do
ducks
is
the
like,
same size?
yeah, but we're talking about 100 duck-sized horses.
Right.
They can kind of
They
like
would
run at
stampede you.
bite you. No, they'd be this big. They wouldn't weigh very much.
Right, but imagine 100 of them. That's what I'm saying. Like, they would like start jumping on each other. They would start tackling you. They would all ram at the same time. They would like find a way to take you out.
They're not like, what's that zombie movie with Brad Pitt? Something
World
Z.
War Z? Yeah.
Well, they're not World War Z zombies.
You
They're
know, I don't-
horses.
If these horses were raised, these horse-sized ducks were raised in captivity, and then their only sole purpose existing was to kill you, they'd find a way.
I beat them.
A
horse-sized duck and just like
what's this?
chomp your head off.
Huh? Oh, okay. This is what the blender was used for. Fish smoothie.
Nice. Very nice.
I
Cats,
don't
though,
know.
they have claws. They would literally just like climb on you, and then I'm allergic to cats, so I'd die of allergies probably.
I feel like, but imagine the potential for riding a horse-sized or a duck-sized horse. No, a horse-sized duck. Horse-sized duck. Yep, sorry. That's content. I'm just saying. I feel like a horse-sized duck wouldn't do that much damage either, though. Yeah, it'd just kind of like quack at you. It'd be like a really deep-voiced quack. Like,
yeah.
Motherfucker.
Oh my god. So what? Yeah, what is the favorite TV finale season or series then?
Sons of Anarchy.
Mm,
Sons of Anarchy
That's a good
final
one.
season.
that's a good one.
I that's the only season I've purposefully gone back in a short time frame and watched twice.
See, I would probably have to say Criminal Minds for me, but I haven't seen the fucking finale, so I can't vouch on that. I don't know what show I've watched all the way through to see a finale, actually.
I am a completionist with TV shows. If I start something, I have to finish it. And if they cancel it after like 2 seasons, I'm really mad.
Ooh, Sword Art on... Oh, no, Sons of Anarchy. Sorry, that was the anime weeb inside of me. Oh, whoops. Sons of Anarchy is what he's referring to, not Sword Art Online. Got it. That's Seo.
Yeah. Sons of Anarchy is criminally underrated. I haven't watched Mayans yet, but I did see a tweet that
Sorry,
one of the
my bad,
Sons of Anarchy
Chris.
characters is back in it for the first episode of this season.
See, what's really sad is I'm gonna piss off a lot of people. I haven't seen Sons of Anarchy, Breaking Bad. I haven't seen The Walking Dead. I haven't finished Criminal Minds. I haven't seen. Just start naming popular shows, Lou. I got nothing. None of them.
Right, you have to watch Breaking Bad and
Yep.
Sons of Anarchy.
Yep.
And
There's a lot of things I need to watch. Better Call Saul. I haven't. Nope.
I've not watched Saul.
True Detective. I haven't. Nope.
I used to love The Walking Dead, and then they killed off they killed off people.
Most people have probably finished it by now. I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I have seen The Witcher. The first season of The Witcher was really good.
Game of Thrones is also excellent. So one of the main things that Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy,
Not The Wire. Nope. I haven't seen all The Office.
and Game of Thrones all have in common is it starts off really innocent almost, and then some bad things happen and they try and fix it, but then they escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate until there's no turning back, and that's when the show ends.
Right.
Basically, it reached like critical mass of terrible things, and that was for me the first time I watched Sons of Anarchy. That was like really new for me because you're used to happy endings in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And
it just wasn't. Yeah.
And I love that about those shows. And then more shows started doing that, and it kind of like it got worse. It became unoriginal.
There were just so many shows that I missed out on. Like, I need to watch Rick and Morty. I need to watch what's the other show? Oh my god. What's the one that everyone talks about? There's Rick and Morty. What's the regular show? I need to watch regular show. There's so many shows I just haven't seen ever. I wasn't a show kid. I watched a decent amount of movies though.
I'm really like picky about what I watch. Like I said, it has to look good. It has to be entertaining. Because if I commit to it, I'm committing to it.
Right.
Especially if there's like 7 seasons. Like Walking Dead, I kind of fell off with. I started watching Fear the Walking Dead. That actually got better than The Walking Dead. But I'm not caught up with both. I'm not caught up with either of them yet.
Well, like I would say I've watched when it comes to like shows, it's nothing. Like, I don't watch shows. I don't watch movies. I see a couple movies every now and then. But like I grew up on YouTube and we didn't have Netflix or Disney Plus or anything else in this household, right? We had TV show. We didn't even have Boomerang. Like the Boomerang didn't exist, so I didn't get to watch a lot of like those shows. But I watched Ben 10. I watched Kim Possible. I watched a ton of Ghost Adventures because that was like my favorite show.
Those were the days.
It was fun. But like I never watched like big shows. I don't know. I guess I missed out on all the fun stuff. When people were watching TV shows, I was playing Modern Warfare 2. So, a lot of video games.
Well, it did you well. Look where you are now.
I'm playing video games. Except a lot of those were on controller, which is very unfortunate. I didn't. Mouse and key.
Yeah. So what? I mean, is there any more questions? Have I missed any questions?
Ooh, how did you start Airsoft? Is a good one.
Oh, good question. I
did not go outside jams. I hated the outside.
Oh, right. So my mom's birthday is in like September. I broke up with my ex in like August, and my mom's like, it was my mom's 50th of this year, of that year, and she would so she works with my mom works where I used to work. So when I was working at the leisure center, when I was 19, 20 as a supervisor, we had a group of us, 5 of us, called the Geek Squad, and we used to go and watch The Walking Dead on when it aired on like at 9 p.m. on a Monday or whatever. And we used to do stuff like that. And basically, when I went to uni, I didn't really talk to them for ages. And she'd invited them all because they were still working at that same place. My mum was working there. She'd invited them all to a birthday party, and they were like, so I came and they were there. I was chatting to him. It was like, yeah. They were saying, we're going to go airsoft. I was like, oh, can I come?
Oh yeah, you can just walk out and give me. You're good.
It was like a bonding session to get that back into that friendship group.
Sorry, hold on, keep going.
That's all good. No, that's how I got into airsoft, and then basically I did some rental days. Really liked it. Started buying my own stuff, and then lockdown happened. And I kind of fell out of it. I never got the guys go out like once every 2 weeks or once every month, but I started having a load of problem with my guns. And I didn't have the money to buy new ones or better ones, so I kind of just like left it. And airsoft days are always a really early start, and my schedule doesn't allow for really early starts on a UK time schedule.
Right,
I go to bed at like the time they're all getting up,
which throws off everything. Absolutely everything. Holy crap!
It's like we're gonna go for an airsoft day on Sunday. We need to be there at 8 p.m. and it's 3 hours away. Okay, so I need to be up at 4 a.m. Okay, well I'll still be awake from the night before, and I'll just feel like shit all day, so I'll pass.
Maybe next time. But if that's it for you, I wanted to thank you. Wait, what is this? What is this? Oh, there's a chat highlight section. What is this? Is this new on Twitch? Yeah. This is like very new. I didn't know this was a thing. Huh? Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows how to like give privacy at all in this fucking house. Hold on. Okay. I wanted to thank you for this interview. It was an absolute pleasure, Lou. Thank you so much. But that is it for me. If you've got nothing else, I think this is the 6th one I've done. I don't actually know off the top of my head. This is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much again for being a part of it. And so I'll have to send you.
Having me.
Oh, of course, I'm gonna have you. Absolutely. I will have to have the thumbnail run through you because I'm very bad at thumbnails. But I hope that you can at least help me with it at the very least, because I'm very bad with thumbnails. So
You should speak to Krieger, FPS Krieger. He's the one who does.
I've heard good things about that, and I've also heard good things about the guy that Coda's with. But I think he focuses more on Call of Duty thumbnails and not like other thumbnails, if that makes sense. Like I've never seen the connection. But yeah, I would definitely have to reach out because I've been trying to do my own thing. It's not realistic. I'm not a thumbnail guy at all. It's just not my thing. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But thank you so much again, Lou. I appreciate it. If you are gaming at all tomorrow, Sunday. I'll be on Sunday if you're gaming because today I have to go. But I appreciate you, handsome man.
We'll figure it out. Yes, thank you.
There will always be games.
It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much, Lou. There's always next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Lou.
Kisses.
All right. Awesome. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it here for the stream today.